worst season.
You did that?
Yeah, I did that.
You was
Yeah.
I thought the mic did it itself. I was like,
Did you just censor me in real time?
how do you do that? It's like she was waiting, bro. It's like she
yeah, for no reason. Let me see it.
I swear, every time I go to the store, whether it's shoes or anything, I try to get what nobody else got.
Yeah.
I hate twinning with somebody I don't know.
Yes, bro.
Why you take my shoes off, bro? That's
Especially with shoes. Like,
I
I
know,
know some
for
other
real.
stuff.
Remember when those yellow and black Jordans came out like 3 years ago?
okay.
And like literally everyone was like a Pittsburgh fan.
All of a sudden,
They all had
Steelers,
those, bro.
or the Steelers hated
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Man,
Cause I won't wear a jersey from someone I don't know, but I'll wear like a graphic tee. Like I'll be wearing Pulp Fiction on graphic. Like you see, I'm like, it's just cool tee.
Yeah.
I won't do the jersey though. If I don't fuck with you, I'm not wearing a jersey. That's kind of I've already got a grown man name on my back. Like, I gotta at least fuck with this dude. Like,
at least gotta
I
know.
was about to get a Joey Harrington Lions jersey. He was
Nope.
the worst fucking quarterbacks in the worst season.
You did that?
Yeah, I did that.
You was
Yeah.
I thought the mic did it itself. I was like,
Did you just censor me in real time?
how do you do that? It's like she was waiting, bro. It's like she was waiting on it, like, I was like,
You can't censor prison, Mike.
well, how did you do that? Like, I have some.
Those are sound effects. No, those are sound
Yeah.
effects.
How did you do it when he did it? Like, you did it.
Instinct.
Like, how did
Instinct.
you know which button to press? I just see
I
all of them glowing.
I pressed them all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't hear it. Some of these don't have no sound at all. So I just like,
you know it's gonna be a sensor?
nope.
That was right.
Well, I mean, I've heard the sounds, but I'm saying I didn't know which button. I mean, I didn't know which button. I know the sounds, but I didn't know which button. So I just had to press them all because I don't know which. It's only 2 or 3 sounds. So, but it's like 8 buttons. Yeah, yeah.
This keeps going with not having to have a crazy ass like lineup of shit to talk about. So, because I know for you, I would have never came with anything. Let's just talk and hold the time. But I'm like, always gotta be extra. But
No, I don't even think it's extra. A little bit of stress. Obviously, went super off the rail. Welcome to the Brain Pod. 15 minutes later, we tried. No, but it's a little bit of structure is good. Anyway, and again, that's why I don't care until episode 50, right? Because it's like then you work because shit like that could be the reason people tune in.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's the same thing with
I
music.
want them to see the process.
Yeah, it's the same thing with music. It's like you do everything you ever wanted to do and you release everything when you start, and then whatever people gravitate to, that the feedback from people is what you really need. Because that might be the moment over the real life shit, and then all of a sudden we're hearing silly hats, and sparklers.
Yeah, they're like, I don't like when he wears that shirt. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. But no, like that's I wanted everybody to see because so many people been DMing me and like so many people who know that I'm busy and like also other busy people are like, how are you doing it? It's like I'm showing you guys doing this. Now it was just once a week, so like 2 hours a week at this location, and then just that's it. And then I was outsourcing the editing when I was back to me because I found like improved with like a way to edit.
Yeah.
But I mean, you edit like now I'm about to be editing like 3 hours a week probably. So 3 hours a week I edit, and then we're shooting 3 times a week now. Well, I'll be shooting 3 times a week now, and that'll be what 2 hours each. So six hours a week. Yeah, that's a lot of time.
It is. No, I don't like this. I don't like that question. How? I don't like because it's like, what do you mean how? Like you've never heard of video editing? Like you don't know what it is.
Well, people say like, how did you start? Like how did you do this? How did you do that? And it's like, I guess they're really just saying when people say how to do that, sometimes they're just really saying like, damn, I don't think I can. Or that's really because it's like I didn't know how. Like we lost 3 episodes. We came and just kind of figure shit out on the way. So it's like I'm trying to show people like, hey, you don't have to know how to do something 100% before you start.
Yeah, I'm a blanket statement. Anything. If anyone asks how do you start anything, the answer is always just do stuff.
Yeah.
Or it's look it up.
Or look it up.
Look it up, bro.
YouTube.
That's
Right, and now it's Chat GPT.
Bro, so
You can literally ask Chat GPT, how do I start a podcast? It'll be like,
I love that you said that, bro, because that's why. So for today's episode, a few episodes ago, we were talking with Minutes Media. By the time this drops, that'll be out for sure.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and they were talking about how they were using ChatGPT and just in some crazy.
Oh my God, Mark is a genius.
I mean, he was searching how to like end the world of hunger with ChatGPT. Like I was thinking about making bread, and he's trying to like fix shit. But this is the first episode, so you guys, we're gonna see how you guys like this episode. We use ChatGPT to create this outline. So I just said, hey ChatGPT, I am gonna be talking with an old friend of mine, went to the same high school. She's been doing a lot in her college community. And we're going to talk about this. I want to talk with her in kind of, let me see what I actually just said. I said, for a podcast episode where with an underlying theme of personal development, business, and conquering adversity, for me, my podcast partner, and my high school friends back in time, she was heavily involved in her college. And it gave me discussion points, different things. And I mean, for the biggest thing today that I want to talk about is fighting demons while also trying to find success. So we're not going to be focused more on the demons part. We're more so focused on we don't want to talk about those. We don't want to unleash those, right? But we want to talk about how to.
I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah. I love talking about demons.
But it's really important to like know, because a lot of people think, oh, because things are going well for her, like 360, and it's like no, like when I tell people like shit that's going on behind the scenes, we're like, oh,
nah,
like no. I remember that one post that said if you might want somebody else to, so let's say if you knew Drake's problems, you probably wouldn't want to be Drake.
I was just gonna bring that up. Apparently it's an African proverb where it's something to the extent of if everybody could throw their problems in a pile and swap problems, you would immediately take your own back and run away.
Yeah.
Because it's problems are sort of a quit for the person, and it's that's just what you have to deal with. You know what I mean? It's like nobody doesn't have problems. Money only solves money problems. Actually, money amplifies certain problems.
Money definitely, and every time I'm up, it amplifies it because it's like when I'm not up, I'm thinking like once I get the money, everything will be fine. It's not like, once you get bread and you're frowning, that's depression. That's like, oh shit, I'm sad as hell.
Well, I think money takes away money problems, obviously. So it's like the baseline survival because I'm broke right now, right? So it's like I'm only in survival mode. So it just overrides existing problems. Like me when I was going through stuff with my girlfriend, and I'm still on this shit where it's like we have problems in our relationship, but the money is the root of those problems. So that needs to get first. Those are more important because it's like, and I said this to her, which is not a good thing in anger, and obviously, but it was like, I can't think about your problems right now when rent is a week away and I don't have the money, because if I put too much time into this, then we don't pay rent. You know what I mean? But that's not appropriate. That's a mistake. But that's, you know what I mean? But it's like, but then when you get the money, then you're just left with the remainder of problems. You know what I mean? Because there's a multitude of problems. And a lot of times it's like, when that's out of the way, now you have to deal with like, success. You have to deal with, if you have too much money, you have to deal with, are the people around me who really love me, or are they trying to use me for something? You know what I mean? Like if you're, too up, it's like,
it is scary. It's scary because it's like, especially if you're overthinking like myself, and it's just like I think everyone's out to get me. So it's like,
oh my goodness,
what's going on? Why did you hit me up today? Like, is it your birthday's this week, or is it
No, I got the same problem, especially when it comes to like opportunities and stuff like that. Because a lot of people know like I got motion for it, and I say that humbly. So it's like when people come around me, I don't know if you really trying to use me because I'm real nice. Like I love helping people. That's like a passion. So are you taking advantage of me, or do you really, want to work with me or work against or work towards the same goal as me? Like that's like my problem right now, because there's like so many people, especially in the college like setting, everybody trying to go to the money, but it's like how am I gonna get there? And majority of the time when you work in, especially in like my field, you need connections, because majority of the time you're not gonna just have an interview and just be like, oh,
let's go back and what do you do? And also, what's your name? Because we didn't even I know y'all are close, but like we just met.
So
I'm not hospitable at all.
That's okay.
I never say.
Yeah, let's take it back. Let's take it back, and then we can get all the way up to there, because that's a good.
So my name is Lex. My real name is Lex. I don't know that. I'm Lex. I go to Copper State University. I'm a transfer from Southern University and then college. I'm a sport management major. At first, I was a sport therapist or a physical therapist for sport. Found out I do not like science. Science hates my guts. So, so I switched that immediately to sport management. Especially since I'm more of a business professional person. So I ended up transferring. I'm a bowler. So that's why I originally transferred. So yeah, I'm a professional youth bowler.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I scored a 30. I still need bumpers.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I've been bowling since the age of 4. My granddad was actually a professional coach for the USBC or certified. And I've been bowling or traveling since I was 10, all over Michigan. And then I just really got into it. Got my first 300 when I was 16 on my birthday. First 800 series when I was 17 on my birthday. So that's why my lucky number is 5, because both on my birthday. And then I got my first scholarship offer around 17, 18. And then COVID happened. So that just kind of wiped out everything. But then Southern found me and I was like, okay, cool. I wanted to go to Texas Southern originally. They grabbed me. I was like, okay, cool. Then I went there, got injured. It was just a whole background. Yeah, I wouldn't say I got injured because of both. So I got hit by a car. So a lot of people don't know this story. So when I tell people about my adventure, they just be like, "Oh, that's so inspiring." But I got hit by a car.
Never knew that.
Like you were in your car? Or
no. I was a pedestrian. I was and I was walking on campus, minding my business.
How does that feel?
Probably
not great.
No, of course not.
Getting hit by a car is crazy.
Yeah, no, I got hit, and then I had some problems.
Yeah.
This is with my knee. So my knee started not working like how I wanted to. So
oh my goodness.
You need your knees.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so that ended up not happening. Then when I first got down there, I actually got signed by one coach. She ended up retiring as soon as I went down there. So I'm like, you just gonna leave me?
What the
fuck? Mind you, I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so I didn't have no family. I had nobody. It was just me. So that happened. I ended up getting kicked off the team. Me and the coach really did not mess with each other. When I say at all, he was the type of guy down south. They do not value women. They really think if I say jump off a bridge, you're supposed to do it 10 times faster than what I told you to do it. And mind you, I went to an HBCU, so I was on the team with all white girls too. So I'm like, at an HBCU, that's okay. But I think I was the only black girl. No, it was me and one other. And so dealing with that was my first time dealing with racism. And coming from Detroit, everybody's what's up? So I was used to it, but I was like, dog, y'all really don't like me because I'm black? So that was something to adjust to. I definitely felt uncomfortable saying nigga in the room. I'm like, I'm black. I'm not supposed to be. So I had to deal with that.
A white guy's like, hey, you're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, no.
Only we can say it.
No,
where am I?
No, right. So I remember one time we was having a game night, and I said nigga because up where I'm from, we said nigga all the time. And so I was singing a side song, and I was just like, and one of the girls was like, and I was like, am I not supposed to say that?
It was a white girl?
Yeah, she looked at me like, why did you say that?
So my golly, gee whiz.
No, I was like, am I? But so back to the coach. No, I was like, am I sure? Depending on the lighting, but so after that, when I got kicked off the team, I was at a struggle place, and I always believe in God. I grew up coaching, so I was like, I started doing what I knew to do best, praying. Yeah. And so I remember I had lived with my friend Treasure. She was actually a part of Midnight Golf, which I'm a part of Midnight Golf. She connected to me. She also went to Southern, stayed together. And I remember just crying, do I want to stay in school? What am I going to do? All this stuff. And I prayed, Lord, I want to go to an HBCU that's the one that has my sport and my major. Swear. Not even 24 hours later, I got an email because I was also in the transfer portal. So the transfer portal is when you don't get on the team or not. they can pick you up from another team and just bring you in as long as you accept and sign the paperwork. So, person, her name is Coach Middleton, whatnot, shout out to her. But she picked me up and she was just like, you're not gonna have to worry about anything, you know what I'm saying? She kind of just took me under her wing. And I was like, bro, like that was heaven sent for her. Like she really cared. And so she just told me like I need to get my stuff together because transferring the credits, all of the credits they come in. And she was like, you know, stay home, do this semester. It was so many times where I thought I wasn't gonna make it to the school that I'm at now, but she was just like, you know, we got you. So I did what I need to do. I stayed home for a semester, went to community college, did all of that stuff, passed my classes. Then I came to Coppin in January 2022. So I've only been there for about to be 2 years. What is 23? Yeah. So and then I got to Coppin, stuff ain't worked out. The team was hating. The first job that I ended up getting as a sport management major was the Baltimore Ravens, which I still currently work at.
Okay.
I just knew we volunteered with them, and I came in. I said, "Oh my goodness, one day I want to work here." And I ain't gonna say her name because she don't do that, Cloud, but she was my teammate at the time, and she looked me dead in my face and was like, "We all applied. You're not gonna do it."
Damn.
And I'm like, "Damn." And I'm like, what? You're supposed to be my teammate. You're supposed to be uplifted and motivated. Now, I'm more of a family-oriented person, being motivated, whatever. And she was just like, yeah, no, you're not going to get it. Don't even apply. Like, and she made it a joke. So I took it personal.
Yeah, there's a thing about a lot of people mask bullshit with pretending it's a joke.
Yeah, no.
Flat out.
No, once they see you take it back, they be like, "Oh,
no. She didn't even do that. Like
she seemed pretty direct though.
She was definitely, and she gave me hell while I was on the team. Like everybody on the team did not like her. And that was another thing. You feel me?
Well,
it's scary. You know,
and it's like, why hate on me?
Well, it's a psychological, it's a tactic. It's strategic, right? Where it's like, okay. Because if anyone's doing that to you, I always take that as a compliment. Yeah. Because me personally, with engineering, and I'm sure you have hella confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
No one can say shit about me in engineering. So like clients will try to do some shit where I had a client a while ago that I ended up winning over, by the way, where he hit me up. I told him my price, and then he went through. He was like, "This is too expensive. I could get this here. Also, I've heard your mixes. You're not that sweet. Also, this. Like just going down, like kind of rapid fire. Not exactly that. It was more like tough, right? But I was like, okay, well, this is my price. And that's that. So it's like the people use it as a tactic because if they can get into your head and shake your confidence, we were talking about it with the jungle. What's the main thing? Mindset is the first thing. The first thing that needs to be built. So if you have the right mindset and people like that, that doesn't matter because then you can observe it and be like, oh, you're just trying to get in my head.
Yeah, not for real.
Flat out. So it's like.
Yeah, when she said that to me, I was just like, okay. And then her and the rest of the team started laughing. Now, mind you, little fast forward, nobody that was on the team while I was on the team don't even go to the school anymore.
Yeah.
Which is so funny to me because I was like, y'all the ones that doubted me. And then, not even, so I got kicked off the team with that. I just got bad with the team at this point. But I got kicked off the team. I ended up getting injured over the summer or whatever. And when they said that to me, I took that personal. I ended up connecting with an alumni that go to my school. And he was like the director, head of the Baltimore Ravens or whatever at the time. And so, like, I'm good with following up, especially when I want something. I'm gonna follow up, like, but it's not gonna be irritating. I'm gonna be like, hey, but that's another thing with connections. I want to gain like a genuine connection with people because I don't want to just hit you up like, oh, it's me again. Like, help me. No, like,
I'm drowning.
No, like,
help me.
I didn't want to do that, so I'm just like, let me just check up on him, whatever. So as I progressed checking up on him. He was like, I'm gonna look out for you. He didn't verbatim say that, but it was like he was looking out for me the whole time. So then he was like, yeah, no, apply for this. And I was like, okay, cool. Applied, got in. Like I went through like 3 interview stages.
Wow.
And all I had to do was say his name, drop him in the interview. They was like, oh, got him. And then I posted that I was part of the Baltimore Ravens. And I was like, Lex, how did you get that? And I said, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. And mind you, the girl that said it had the same major, same goals, all of that.
Yeah.
I was just one step ahead. And that was my first job. So then I really started hustling. I'm like, okay, cool. I got one thing that's resume built. Like I be on LinkedIn crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like LinkedIn is like my home girl. Like for real. Like that's like a professional Facebook. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna do this. do this. Mind you, I was already doing a lot prior to, but like I wanted to focus more on my major, like what I'm in here for. So once that happened, months go by, I'm doing stuff well, currently I work for the Washington Wizards too. So I got the Baltimore Ravens, I got the Washington Wizards, and then I'm an intern in my athletics department for the sales and promotion stuff. So like the LSU versus Coppin game with Angel Reese and all of them, I'm gonna be right next to ESPN working with that. I'm gonna be working with everything towards that day, and then I'm gonna direct contact with marching band that's coming to the school. I just do a lot. It'd be so much stuff, and I got imposter syndrome. I was just talking to my girlfriend before we got here. Like, I do not be really giving myself credit because I feel like I'm not doing enough because I got high expectations. Like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, da, 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 da. But like, I'm really doing a lot. But I gotta make myself feel like I am. Because when I tell people like, oh yeah, I work for Baltimore Ravens, they be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But me, I'm just like, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's pretty much like my little overview. I do a lot. Like if I don't know something at the school, I know somebody can do. Like I'm highly connected, definitely motivated. But that's like my little background story.
That's great. There's a lot you could pick from that. I like so the thing about connections, right? And I think like going to your teammates who are all pieces of shit.
Well, they ain't my teammates no more. They gone. Some people went to Texas Southern. Some people went to Prairie View. Some people just ventured out. They not even at the school I'm at no more.
So the lessons that I would take from your story, basically, is do the work and do it well, and then be genuine with your connections.
Definitely.
And then if those two things are in line, and also don't get so attached to like what you set out to do with your bullying, right? Because life has this cataclysmic element to it, and you got the bad end of a random act that sent your, whoop. So, but you recovered, you know what I mean? And a lot of this is pivoting.
Yeah.
Praying is important, and I know because this is your whole life story, but I know it's like that's years and years of shit, right? So it's like, and I know this personally from my business. When I left my business, it was a year ago, but I was and then I was just getting out of this. I was in a terrible dark place for like 3 years, but now when I tell the story, it's like it's a footnote. But it's like sometimes when you're going through this, that's why praying is important in that sense, right? And there's a phrase I really like where, and I say it all the time. I don't remember who said it, but I stole it now. It's mine. Is people who don't believe in God haven't looked low enough. And I think it's one of those things where I don't know how people function, and actually they don't function when life smacks them down and there is no hope and faith. It's like then you just sit in your own shit.
And then it's okay to cling to those earthly things that make you think that you're putting a band-aid on it, and like if you don't have any other baseline, like it's just like your baseline is just whatever I think is what's right. That's why it's like, dude, that is so important to incorporate the scripture, the Bible into so many different things, business, how you do business, and relationships. It's like when you don't have that baseline, but like that one guy, not to get too deep into it, like that one guy I was working for who told me that, he was telling me that my grandparents that we had passed at the time.
I hate that this makes me laugh every time.
It was just
it's so obnoxious. Please tell it. Have you heard this? Please tell this rapidly. Tell this rapidly
before
again.
I got into coaching full time, when I was still doing remote high ticket sales, I was working with one guy. So man, this I hate this story, but I was working for this one guy, bro, and he kind of poached me from the place I was working at that I didn't look like because the guy was disrespectful. And I thought,
wait, was this the job that you and Nita was working at one?
No, this particular one we didn't work together.
But so the job I came from, we was working at, and that job, it was a problem because the guy was being disrespectful to her, disrespectful to me, and it was just bad. So I was trying to get out, and I was looking, and then my director of operations, passed this in my lap and took me to interview. And I told them my requirements. I'm like, I don't do no more cold calling. And that's like, I'm at a point where that's like, believe me at this point, bro. I'm in high ticket. I just want to book the Zoom meetings on my calendar. I close, 60% of them, just give them to me, I do it. And he was like, okay, you want to do no cold calling? I got it, someone to do all that. It was just all lies. Like once I start, not only did I have to start cold calling and shit, but he had changed the commission rate, like without telling me. I find out from a paycheck that it's lower. Like, oh yeah, that's the nigga. I hope that's cool. I'm like, damn. And then like the anniversary of my grandparents' passing was like coming up, and their birthdays were like coming up. It was just crazy, just not good time. And he calls me one night, like And I never get a call from him. So I'm like, oh, you know, I told my sales manager about what I'm going through. My numbers aren't the best lately. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna let y'all know what's
I
going
feel like
on.
I know where this is going.
Bro, I mean, he called me to be like, hey, man, you know, I heard, you know, he like, hey, man, so basically everybody died. My grandma died, and I was cool. And mind you, he's calling me from like a party. He's at a party right now. But he was like, yeah, so I think your grandparents would be way better off and they'd be happier if you were closing more deals and if you were making more money, right?
What?
Like he just kept going deeper and deeper.
And you stayed on the phone?
Bro, and he called me, I was there to cry and had a bottle, I was just like sad as shit. So I'm like, you calling me and I'm just sitting here like, okay, I'm in my sorrow. I just deserve this, apparently. This is what I earned today. But I'm just like, bro, and then he just going in like, what the fuck else did he say, bro? He was saying all type of crazy shit.
When he
like,
said that, I was like,
bro, man, this will kill me, bro. This will kill me because this came towards. It's not only do you call me at 8 p.m. in like a very rough time in my life, and it's after work hours. You call me and start grilling me, and then after grilling me, he says, "And you know what? Your tone, you need to change that. I know." From your tone, I can tell how much is in your bank account, right? From your tone, you want to sound like me, and I'm like, man, this
no,
really
no, because my thing is, I can do that all by myself. I could have no way you disrespected me on the phone that I paid for it.
In my crib, I'm sitting here like, all right, but then I like checked him like a few days later. I'm like, bro, what was not checked him because I'm like, I'm still in my people pleaser mode, but. I'm like, what was that about? Like, what's up with that? And he was like, just business. If you were the CEO, you understand. And that from that point, I'm like, I'm gonna go show y'all like how. And I'm like, that's just operating with no morals. You just no morals, no values.
I love the sentence. I love the sentence. I'm sorry I laughed so uproariously through that. I love the sentence. Your dead grandparents would be happier if you were closing more deals.
Actually,
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. To call you coked up at a party,
bro, because that's what it was. He was definitely getting coked up.
What
like,
the fuck?
It was a lot of fuck at the party, and it's like,
first of all, how would you know how they feel? You never met them,
bro. I'm like, you don't know what
You've never met them.
You talking about people you never met.
Like,
you don't know what they value, nothing like that.
My grandparents could have been crackheads that just wanted me to do drugs. Like, first of all, like you don't even know.
And it's like, for the record, my grandma would probably like my grandma was about that money, but my grandpa was about like, you know, he was like more like be happy but take care of it. So he wouldn't that. But my grandma, it was just that's what she was taught, you know. She just, you know, go get your dollars.
Of course.
What you said to that is really interesting. Is you said like, you're not about to grill me on this phone I pay for, right? Here's a lesson though, for real. Because people get like a level of, I need this person to be successful. They get locked in, right? Here's the thing with what you said. This is rooted in confidence and mindset, right? And I go back to this. Get your own motion first, and anything you do, it adds to your motion. Do not attach to someone else's motion and ride it up, because that means they can kick you off at any time. That's how people get fucked. So there is a line where you have to stand on business, and if someone is that disrespectful, do not take a certain level of disrespect. I'll take a certain level of disrespect. I'll take a workable level of disrespect.
When you're working with clients, you have to take some disrespect.
Yeah,
some people just not raised.
Some people just don't understand. Some people don't. Some people are playing a Machiavellian game of mind fuckery, and so, you know what I'm saying. So it's like I'll take light. There's a balance to this. I'll take an element, but as you get more success, as you progress, then obviously that is it. But it's like if you're in a place wherever you work and someone is just disrespecting you and you fucking hate your life because of this person, get out of there. Like today, like period. Because it's like, go refigure out what you're trying to do, find another space and jump shit, because it's never going to get better. It's never going to get better. So just get the fuck out of there.
That shit leaks out into your other parts of your life. Like now you're, you know, like you said, you can come home and now you're, you know.
If you hear a person disrespecting you long enough and you take it, you become that person that they're making.
Yeah, exactly.
You forget who you are. People trick you. This happens in relationships. This shit happens in jobs, because the best case scenario is you take this abuse for 10 fucking years, and then they give you a 1% promotion every year, and then leave your ass dusted.
No, for real. Like, now you yelling at microwaves because you mad.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Specifically, microwave.
like, oh, it's gonna put in the refrigerator. What?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Get some
Listen,
more.
I've been there too. I've been there too. So it's like, right? Especially because this is an entrepreneurial podcast, right? It's like there are a million ways to skin a cat. You need to find the right mentor that aligns with your morals and values, and that person exists. So don't let some fucking coked up rich kid asshole who didn't really have to work that hard for his money tell you your dead grandparents would love you closing deals. You could tell that guy to eat a dick.
And I hope you watched it.
And choke.
Oh no, we hold him on a weekly basis. He doesn't care because he's, you know.
So this part, the best part is that so what I was selling, he did this thing called like trucking automation. So he would kind of do something similar to what I do now, but where he would create a business for like a trucking business for someone, and then like run it for them. So they would just pay them. So it was $40,000 up front. And then for the sales people we were selling it, was like 10%. It was supposed to be 10% commission. They put it down to like 6%, but it was 10% commission at that. That's $4,000 a sale. People could get it financed. It was, it was supposed to be cool. And then after a while, I'm starting to see like, oh yeah, I know it's important for people that will. And then like he started losing clients and now his business is no more. And I ended up selling to one of his clients. Ended up calling me about credit repair. So like calling me like, hey, I saw that say you're doing a credit repair, whatever. I'm talking about that. And I'm like, I also, be, building some businesses, but I'm like, I don't know if you be talking.
Something of a scientist myself.
Yeah, I'm like, I do a little something, and then he was like, oh no, that shit's done. It's over. It's nothing. They don't got nothing. I'm like, oh, well, let's talk. Close, dude. But good amount of money.
Do you do this at the end of the sale? Be like, are you an open door right now? Because now you're closed.
Bro.
Yeah, you need to do that. And then lose it immediately.
In the internal chats, I'm gonna start doing that. Like with the team, we used to always have like in the sales culture, there's always like that just culture of just dropping your wins and just the trophies.
When I walk into a room, if these doors are open, you better believe I'm a fucking closer. Because I'm a closer.
I wish I could work in dealership because I love their culture. Like they be having like tallies and rewards and shit like salesmen.
I saw one dealership. They had a bell for every one.
Yeah, because selling a car is crazy though. Like I wish I could have did that for a little bit. Like,
I gotta get my buddy 5 on here because he's a car salesman for 10 years. If you want to do that, and he's an artist and all that shit. Because that's very interesting to me. Because there's a whole meta. There's a whole meta of when you go into a car dealership, then the first thing you think about this guy is a slimy asshole.
Yeah, and so you have so much to like break through. Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
I like warm leads now. Like I've worked with cold leads. I've sold people in Kroger. I fucking knocked on doors and shit. I've sold people insurance from fucking Facebook.
Buy windows.
But that shit is not fun, bro. It's so much anxiety in that.
Of course.
It's like there's so much imposter syndrome because you have to kind of use the credibility from the company you're representing, and it's like you don't really know what you're talking about because it's your first week, but you're trying to say, all right. It's a lot, but yeah, warm leads are this, man. They come in, they saw my idea sale, they saw this free training that I put together, they've been following me for a while, and it's like my time is very valuable, dude. And it's like this is like you gotta be on time. Branding
and credibility. Once you get past that point, you have to, right? Which is why you should do it when you're young, ideally, so that you can just eat a lot of shit. Is like so when you brand it. Well, when you get to a point where you're branded, then money just comes to you. Like it's really important to build credibility and branding, but to go through that bullshit, then if you can attach to the right company and learn and then offshoot with that on your resume. Like you were talking about your resume is like, you know what I'm saying?
Especially with heavy hitters, like that was a goal. You know what I'm saying? Like the resume I had before, like I'm not gonna say it's useless, but like it was like, oh yeah, I worked here.
You gotta pad it.
But like I have 2 resumes, which a lot of people don't do. But I have a resume where it's strictly for what I want to do, like sports, and then it's the I would say the everything.
That is all you.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's game. So like, so I'm gonna let you keep going, but just what she's explaining, y'all. This is something that I think we talked about before. Is when you make resumes tailored to the job you're applying for. Don't just give them everything you've ever done because they're like, why would you want to work here? You're not obligated to give them every single job. They can find that themselves.
The Baltimore Ravens doesn't care you worked at GameStop.
Right? Take that off.
They don't care.
Everything that's
I mean, it shows soft skills, but like
Right.
You can show like just one per character. Like, cause my first job was a bagger, and everyone always loves that. They're just like, wow, I could never. I'm like, well, yeah, I did that shit.
Wow, you were really shitty, weren't you? I could never be as shitty as you. No,
Yeah, no, so like for building the resumes and whatnot, like I said, LinkedIn is like another resume. They actually make resumes for you on LinkedIn. There's a click to play.
Wow.
Which I had probably. But I just downloaded the one from LinkedIn, the one that I personally made, and then I have another one. Like it's just like with all the stuff that I might do, like on campus or whatever. So yeah, so like a school resume, because since I do a lot, so sports resume, a regular job, like if I need to go work for a break or whatever, Amazon job, whatever, real quick. Yeah. That's that resume I'm gonna give them. So I always come prepared, and like one thing that you said that I wanted to tag on when it comes to branding, like branding is very important. That's why I'm careful on who I attach my name with and who I vouch for, because like I said, I have a lot of connections. So my connections would be like, okay, well, you just did this for them. They not holding it. So like one thing that I'm doing currently, I'm actually, I feel like the Harriet Tubman. This is what I say all the time. The Harriet Tubman of Coppin State University, because I'm taking a lot of people from Detroit to Baltimore. Since we got a,
the Underground Railroad.
you know what I'm saying, the North Star. But I got a lot of people that's like, I want to go to school, but I don't know if I want to go to school out of state. And like the one thing that my dad pushed me like growing up was go to state out of go to college out of state. And I'm a pro person with out of state college because it teaches you so much stuff. It teaches you that survival skill. It teaches you way more things that I think will benefit you than like staying at home. You know what I'm saying? Because you're comfortable with being comfortable. Like you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's risk taking. That's doing a lot of stuff. So like right now at my school, I'm the liaison for like the Midnight Golf program. And so since we got in-state tuition at my school, which I actually helped my president fight for, like I went to the gala, I got invited to that, talked to a couple people. We actually got in-state tuition, which is like $7,000 now. When it used to be $13,000 for out-of-state students. Wow. So I'm taking the people, about 250 people from the Midnight Golf program to Baltimore under me. And mind you, I'm the senior student ambassador at my school, so I'm already connected with everybody in admissions. And if they know that, Midnight Golf, they're gonna be like, okay, cool, because Lex said. Like, not just because we know these people, because they did not. They didn't know anybody from the Midwest for real. I mean, let me not say that. They know I'm from the Midwest, specifically Detroit. So it's like, okay, Detroit connected us to Midnight Golf. Okay, cool. We already met with these people. They cool. They getting us numbers. That's what they care about. Numbers.
What is Midnight Golf? I'm sorry.
So Midnight Golf. Look, I love them. Like I would represent it forever. So Midnight Golf is a organization that helps rising freshmen, incoming freshmen, I guess you say, go to college, preferably HBCUs, but wherever the money is. So like my senior year, when I was trying to see what college I was going to go to, they brought those opportunities to me. So they have like certain connections, like Detroit Pistons. What's that one? I forgot the sales corporation, but they got those people from finance. They got so many people in partnerships.
Is that Racket Money?
They got that. They got Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage. They got them because I worked there too. At Rocket Mortgage. They got so many people that wants to like hire young talent. Right. So they like, okay, we're gonna put you in the same room as these people, and of course, like it make them look good too. So they give us the opportunities. They not make us go to college, but they help you go to college if you need help financially. They pretty much like. It's so many times where I hit up Mr. Coffee. He like an uncle to me, talking to him almost every other day, and I'm like, yo, I need to take it back home, and he just send me the money.
Wow.
It is like, oh dog, like, but not a lot of people get in, like Jordan said, like not a lot of people get in, but they go off of, the interview process, because that interview process be rigorous, like, and it's like a lot of people that go through it in the same day, but they pretty much help develop life skills, teach you golf. They do a lot.
I didn't even know what it was. Like, what? I wasn't connected at all. I mean, I was a new kid. I was like,
see, it wasn't even Rennie that got me the opportunity.
But like, I didn't even know. I thought it was just golf. No one ever told me what it was. So I'm like, I don't like golf. So I'm not doing it.
That's why I didn't apply.
find
But
like.
I thought it was a golf club.
Me too. I'm like, ugh.
No,
Like,
it's
ugh,
more
like,
than golf. And then this is the thing too. When it comes to midnight golf, like since I'm older, a lot of people, especially business people, do business during golf.
For sure.
So
Yes,
that's
no.
why they incorporated
Yes.
golf into professional settings
I
because
wish
like
I did.
my president would be like, okay, we can talk about that. You know how to golf? Yeah, I actually do. Like,
Yeah.
so I actually got that mentality where it's like I can golf.
That's
I
such a
know
good idea
all
that
this stuff.
they start with golf and then leak it into everything
Yeah,
else.
it's
Jim
life
did that.
skills.
That's
literally.
awesome.
Sit down on the office. Jim is still fucking playing golf with bros.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's literally how everything. So, and at first when I was in it, I was like, okay, they teaching us golf, and like they gave us free golf clubs and everything at the end, gave us all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But like since I'm into my profession, like going into it, I'm like, God, all of these people don't golf, like all of y'all golf. Like it's people at my school that be like, yeah, we can talk about that over golf. I'm like,
Wow, that is such a great
you
flex
don't
to
you
say.
don't want to go bowling?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
golf?
We need to make midnight bowling
Yeah.
as an offshoot. How about midnight paintball? We could discuss it over midnight paintball.
That would be
Man,
crazy
that
to close
works.
the
Merger.
Yeah. No, but that's pretty much the organization.
That's
I
super
still
hard.
give
That's
I give
super
back
hard.
to that organization all the time. Like that was one of my number one missions. So we doing partnership is undergoing right now for Midnight Golf at Cal State University. But they want to see numbers before they sign. So
Right.
this semester, my girlfriend attends and I had one of my mentees go. And Coppin is a second chance type of school too. So like let's say like you need a 2.5 to get in, 2.7 to get scholarships and stuff like that. If you don't have a 2.4, they got a summer program where you can go in, you just gotta pass the classes and stuff like that, and then you're admitted into the university. But a lot of people don't know that because they don't display that all the time.
Right.
But I be telling the real, like, this, that, and the third, make sure you do this. So when I went to the college fair, which it took me a year to get my school to go to this college fair for Midnight Golf, we actually got so many people from MGP that got full rides. So, and I also was smart about this too. So I have an actual organization now. I'm the president and founder of Midwest Madness. And it was actually inspired by Midnight Golf to teach professional skills, social networking, and financial literacy. Because a lot of people, especially in the Black community, lack financial
For
literacy.
sure, yeah.
Like, don't really know. Like, it's so many people in college right now at my school that don't even have bank accounts.
Listen, me growing up as a white person in basically I call it's dead ass middle class. I grew up dead ass middle class. Bro, when I came over here to record, because I'm a recording engineer, so I record rappers all day. Like these are people with money, right? Like money. So bro, I ask people, they don't have bank accounts. I mean, obviously but it's like they don't know what they don't know what credit is for. Like I've had to sit down with 30-year-old men and explain just basic credit. Like you need to establish. You need to open a bank account, run money through it so that you can prove this, so that they can.
They gonna take my money, but
no, not even that. They're like happy to hear it because no one has ever explained that it's even necessary to have credit. Like, bro, we cannot cash everything out, bro. That's not how this shit works.
And that's what I was saying to a lot of people. That's what the organization is for, especially since I'm coming out here and I'm getting all the people that I know want to go to college or whatever. And they got full rights to my school. They're going to be in the organization. So now, like my organization started off small this semester, but we did community service. We did all of these like programming and stuff like that. But when like the people that I came to get this semester, when they come in the fall next year, the organization gonna be good. So, but the credit thing, it's just so much stuff that I will talk about, and they be like, "How do you know that?" Like, I got into Midnight Golf from my mentor. His name is Kevin Butson. He actually is a part of Ally Financial.
Okay.
He actually came in from his high school. And was talking, and so I was so in tune on what he was saying, and I kept asking questions. And that's one thing I stick to this all the time. I tell people that I do things that I know other people won't do.
Right.
So like when it comes to like a
here,
presenter freshman year, he come in, he like, oh yeah, I'm talking about credit, I'm talking about this. Everybody like, oh, we got a presenter, we ain't gonna do no work. I'm actually trying to get the information that you're giving, and so I was the most engaging. He was like, we're gonna get you Midnight Golf. And at the time, I'm like, oh, what? I'm bold.
Yeah.
I don't need golf. Like, I don't need golf. Yeah. And then he sat me to the side. He was like, yeah, what if I told you I could get you a job over the summer? You're talking money. We need to be connected. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed connected to him all 4 years of high school, and then when it came down to getting the interview and everything like that, he gave me the application. Was like, you need to fill this out. And mind you, I'm a senior now. You met me when I was a freshman.
Yep.
So, and then I got in. Heck yeah, when I tell you I'm so good at following up, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't follow up to the point where I annoy you, but I make sure that you don't forget who I am. Like, I tell people that a lot. Like, when you go into a room, it don't matter where you're going. It don't matter. First impressions is everything.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I always go in and be like, hey, my name is Lex, da, 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 and by the time you leave me, you ain't gonna forget me. Like, I'm promising that. A lot of people just be like, oh, okay, well, that was just another person. But then they be confused on how I got all these opportunities. They didn't forget who I was.
Do you attribute that? Because there's a lot of things, obviously, that I sense from your personality, like your willingness to do like what I consider, because we're sort of the opposite, where it's like I cannot stand like any level of any what would you call it, like system, like paperwork, like even signing up for shit. I used to go to college and I could go for free because my dad worked there, and I would drive there and then I'd sleep in the parking lot, not go, and then I'd leave. You know, so we're kind of the opposite in that sense, right? So like, do you attribute like your personality, like naturally your ability to like focus, learn the shit, get it done, see the routes, like, or is like as you, or is that a part of your upbringing, like your family, or is that like your goals and ambitions tune that into you? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
So I think it's a mixture of both because like my dad is the most outgoing person that I know. So when it came to how he is when it comes to family, I kind of picked that up. But my mom, how can I say this? Like my dad, he's very direct, can talk in front of people. I'm like that, but on steroids. My mama, she can talk in front of people, but she's more shy, but she's very caring and very much like wanting to help people. So I have like a mixture of both on top of steroids pretty much. And when it came to like handling the business, like my dad is into real estate, he's an electrician, he do all of this stuff, he take care of his family and he provides. So me seeing that going up and actually having a figure like that in my life, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take that, but I'm gonna apply that to everything that I do.
Now, is that consciously or subconsciously?
I think it's subconsciously because I grew up in a 2-family household. A lot of people can't say that, but I grew up blessed, seeing my parents married, seeing how they love each other.
2-parent household.
Yeah.
That's 2-family household. I grew up in a 2-family. My parents divorced when I was 3. So I grew up with that, and then saw both of my parents working all the time. I think that's where I got my hustle from because I got like 4 jobs right now. So you can be like, well, you need to sit down. No, I'm not doing enough, and that's why I say the imposter syndrome coming in because, Washington Wizards, Baltimore Ravens, intern, doing this. They be like, you need to sit down. I swear, every teacher that come next to me be like, you need to sit down. I'm not giving you no more opportunities. And then next thing you know, I'll be like, well, I'm done with this one. Need another one. Like you're on a real quest. You're like checking boxes.
So I definitely think that it's a mixture of both. Especially since like I was talking to my coach or whatnot because we got that cool after she whatever. And then she had the audacity to ask me to be back on the team. I'm like, no, but that's still, I still love her down or whatever, still got respect for her. But she sat me down. She was just telling me how she felt like I'm afraid to fail, which is why I do so much at one time because and she said I also don't learn from my mistakes because I'm just up and going all the time because I'm scared to fail. And like a part of that is true. I am scared to fail. Who wants to be broke? You know what I'm saying? But I learned that can also tire me out because it's like, okay, I'm doing all of this stuff, I don't have no me time, I don't have this, but I'm trying to get me time when I'm rich. So when people be like, oh, you need to sit down somewhere, I be like, I'm not wealthy yet. I don't want to just be rich. I want to create generational wealth.
Here's the thing about balance that I picked up anyway, is that balance is relative to you, right? Where it's like, because some people can't take the level of work, because even if you crash out a little bit, right, it's like you're still grinding, and so it's like you do all your grind now so that you don't have to grind later, right, and get it done fast, get it done, and then get the house on the lake and chill on the boat, and that's, you know what I'm saying,
swimming when you want to,
right? And I mean, it seems like, you know, it's working, so it's like that. I mean, I understand what people say because it's like, I mean, but you can there is something to be said about pushing that line just so you know where it is.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you could take it all the way there, and then when you do crash out, you're like, oh, a little too fast there,
Yeah.
and then duck back. But
I
yeah,
definitely know that line because like before I left Baltimore, I was at that line.
Yeah.
And it's not just work, it's like the extra problems on top of that. Like
Yeah.
and like you were saying earlier, like a lot of people don't understand the problems that you go through. They just see, oh, the profile picture on weekend. Oh, she's doing amazing.
Yeah.
But you don't know what I had to do to get there.
Yeah.
Like COVID happened 2020, I was depressed. Like
Yeah.
my grandma died around that time. I was going through it, and I still have to go to Louisiana experience all of that stuff while still trying to keep a smile on my face. And then I had to transfer because of how I was being treated there.
Yeah.
And then I got here, and it's like, okay, I'm dealing at the time. I was dealing with like self-love and like wanting to fit in and like all this stuff. But then I had to come to the place where I'm at now, where it's like I'm too big to fit in. Why am I fitting in with small size jeans when I'm an extra large? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the emotion that I have can compete towards like 4 people. Why am I trying to fit in with those 4 people when I'm like 10 by myself?
With your Rick and Morty, I don't care about your cheers because I know it's or I don't care about your booze because I know it makes you cheer.
Yeah.
It's sort of that. So I have a life philosophy where it's be the best version of yourself, right? And so I think the first step in general is figuring out who you are to the best of your ability and then figure out ways to amplify that. So like, yeah, all those problems going into it is like as soon as you realize, and obviously you developed confidence through the struggle of finding your way, right? And I think people are too scared to start because they're too afraid to feel the fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's like I think the advantage that you had obviously is you kind of just jumped into the fire.
Yeah, no, 2020, I was like, I need to get out.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know where to start. I just
started.
Yeah, I just was like, yeah, no, this gotta change like right now. And I think another thing too, when it comes to like portraying different things, is social media. A lot of people be like, oh, like I need to do this or I want to do this based off of what they're doing. Why are you trying to fit in a lane that's not meant for you?
For sure.
God will create your own lane that other people will want to be in. Hello?
For sure.
This is Mike on. Because like me, I was trying to like fit into lanes that I had no business being in. Like I was never raised like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I started grinding and hustling and just putting God first to the point where he created a lane that everybody trying to get in with me. And it's like, okay, y'all is just talking bad about me. Now y'all want to be business partners?
Yeah.
What?
Crazy how that works.
Yeah, no, that's crazy to me.
And I think we're kind of all in that phase where it's like really weird. It's like once you get to like at the top, it's like you kind of get to see a lot more like-minded people. You're in those spaces where there's not as much anxiety. There's not as much like, I'm not worried about what you're doing because you got your own emotion, but we're in this stage where because we're not all the way where we need to be, we're still in a lot of space with people who don't have their emotion.
Yeah.
And those spaces are really uncomfortable because it's very, you don't really know what anyone is, what they own. Because it's like, I go from a stage of, and people don't speak enough about how those low times that we have are then like could be the reason we're here. Like I attribute so much
100%
to what I have to when I was low. Because it's like I found ambition I didn't even have, and I almost quit at one point. But I found this extra ambition from this, putting it in God's hands, and I'm like, let me just see what He can do.
Yeah.
And He just went nuts. Like,
yeah, my mama growing up, my mama used to be like, if you don't believe, try her. I tried it. I was like, oh Jesus,
give it a try.
What you doing? Hold on. I started reading this Bible. I'm like, Lord, what? Stop playing. I be having like little epiphanies to myself because I started reading. No, for real. Like, and I think a flashback that I continuously always have. It don't matter whether I'm driving in the car or not, but the flashback that I always get, it's like God reminds me like where I came from on purpose, which makes me go harder. Like when I was sitting and I was crying at my lowest, trying to figure out if I wanted to go back to school while I was in Louisiana. That's like, okay, that's my drive. Cause like my back was against the wall. I didn't know what to do until I called on him. Like it was just, and I was like, oh, you really brought me from that place. Wow. And I feel like also God uses people to tell their story to be an inspiration to somebody else. Because when I tell my story, people are like, you got hit by what? And you what?
Then
Where the money at?
on LinkedIn.
You feel me? Like now they like, oh my goodness, like I need to stay connected with her, and I'm just like.
And we was talking about that in church, like, because we were talking about people always talk about, holding your tongue, not saying these bad things, not using your words to attack and bring down, but they're also saying people. We had this church group, man. This one dude, this was such a bar for me, bro. Because I'm like, I never heard nobody even mention that, because that is so true, but. He just mentioned that he has a problem. He's like, I'm really good at I never say, I think before I speak, I don't hurt people's feelings. That's not my problem.
Oh, that's my problem.
But he's like, my problem is I'm not good at using my words to heal. There's so many times where I think I could be helpful, but I'm just so agreeable. I'm just so, I don't want to, step on anybody's toes. I hold it myself. Yeah. But it's like, that's why I got into coaching personally, because I'm like, there's so many times where I'm talking to people and it's like, it's hard to from a friend to just take their advice, because it's like it's like a level of competition. So I don't really want to take your advice because we're on the same path. It's like, what the hell? But if you're on a coaching call and it's like it's a different environment, people are just, it's easier. I have friends now who have booked coaching calls, and it's like they allow me to coach them, and it's a different environment, and it's just so much easier when you're able to.
So when you say like competition, what do you mean? Because you said like you don't want to listen to me or not because y'all say like. Cause like competition.
Well, I mean, I that's all I can attribute it to. I don't know, because it's like I always just been. I'm a mentee first. Like I always like to learn. Like and whenever I get on a coaching call with somebody, and when they do business, I'm like taking notes. Okay, what do you do? Oh wow. Even with Mark, I'm like, wow, you use ChatGPT like that. Oh cool. Yeah. Like I'm always because I just. Nothing I learned. There's no type of knowledge I have where I'm like, oh, I feel like the shit. Because it's like everybody didn't know until they knew. Right. Like I didn't know all this shit at one point. So it's like, if you don't know, it's just like, let me teach you, or go find it somewhere else. Yeah, but no, I feel like people have this like, let's say, because it happens a lot in like sports, so much, where it's like when I was running cross country as a freshman, I was like, better than everybody, I guess, out of nowhere. When I was doing that to try to get in condition for basketball, but Coach Weaver just shut that down and said, you should just do this. I'm like, okay, but I'm like, hey, like, do not. Now we know putting your hands on your knees or whatever is okay or whatever. But at the time, it was like I was told we don't do that, so don't do that. And they the niggas wanted to slap me. They did not want to hear from me. I'm like, hey, I'm not saying this because I don't give a fuck about like politics. It's just this is what I was told is the correct form. Or if you're running lazy, or if you're doing that, I'm like, the way you're running, like I know you think that this is helping you, is making it worse. And it's like, people don't like to be coached by people who are younger. People don't like to be coached by people with less money. Like last thing I'll say about that place I worked at with her, another problem I had with that CEO, he was a business guy. He was able to leverage, a business credit into a business loan and, grow his business that way. He had like, all his money came from, credit. And I was a sales guy, and this dude didn't know sales, and he kept fucking shit up. I'm your director of sales, and you keep trying to still close your DM sales, and that's my job. But whenever somebody is like saying, dude, this is my favorite story, I'm gonna tell it whenever I can tell it to somebody. Dude, this nigga, bro, a dude in his DM, like we sell marketing services, it's like $3,000 a month to like $6,000 a month. And this dude, potential client that I had talked to, was just not on the fence. He just, it's busy. He got motion. He like, hey, I'm just waiting to see what we about to do for my daughter. She just, did this thing in school, and we trying to wait to see how we about to do it. We don't know if we're gonna take her out to eat. We trying to wait. This nigga, I see that DM, and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting to kind of see what I'm gonna say. Obviously, if I could just say, you good. But I see this dude already didn't text him. I'm like, damn. He's like, what's more important, your daughter or your business?
Like, can we make these shirts? That's a good one. What's more important, your daughter or your business? Your grandparents, your 10 grandparents would buy you closing deals. I'm like, it's obnoxious.
What do you want about, bro? Why would you say that? But I mean, it went as far as like, like, and then the girl, bro. We can see everything, bro. This nigga was so bad with the girls, bro. It was so bad, but that just ego and just not willing to listen to. He told me because I never made $1 million that he wouldn't listen to me. Like, who, you never made $1 million? I'm like, I don't think you should say that. That's not the way to talk to
what does money have to do with?
But that's not like, bro, like, dude.
Like, because people think people will be whatever morally they need to be to close the sale, which is backwards. right? To me, that's how like those people think, right? Well, of course.
Want nobody I have to go that way for.
Well, this is the idea. We could talk about this because we all believe in the Jesus. It's the false idol. It's the Jesus. It's the one and only. It's the false idol shit, right? Where it's like your morals and values are first, but you're supposed to put God first, right? So that's first, right? Morals and virtues, values, right? So if people flip flop that, then money becomes first. Then that means means your morals and values are below. So that means those things can be switched.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As opposed to those morals and values need to be stagnant, like that's not stagnant. You know what I'm talking about?
Your morals and values.
Steadfast.
Okay.
Whatever. Hard.
My vocabulary is.
It's the word is really right there, and every time I do a fist bump, I'm like, there it is, and it's not. Anyway, so that's unmoving. That's unmoving, right? That's what it is. Morals, values, and then so then if you base it on this, then it doesn't matter, because if I'm in a situation where I know I can manipulate a person to get money, I will not do it because it does not because the money is below. No, but some people just don't like. Some people don't. Some people are, listen. Some people are. I'm not a firm believer that everybody is good. I think most people are good. Most people are good, but I think a lot of people, especially. I mean, yes.
I don't even think because some people go out their way to be evil.
Right, but again, it's like you got to be on watch for that. You got to be able to defend yourself, which is why you being agreeable, and I'm working on being disagreeable. Me and him had a conversation where I was like frustrated. I had to apologize because I was like yelling just because my life is I need to get to a place currently right now where I need to sort of like reprioritize shit because things are starting to spiral. Yeah, I got 2 young kids and I'm sleepy and this is happening and all this and poverty and all this, whatever. So anyway, so I was talking to him and so I'm trying to be right. I'm trying to give more no's, but with the reasons why, right? Instead of just saying yes and agreeing to shit, right? So it's like
I'm so bad. I can't even say no to somebody unless I have something else that can say no. Like I need, for example, I need to be able to show them, hey, well, I have this appointment that's already booked. I can't. Or, hey, my girl, she's not, feeling too good today, so I can't be.
Honestly,
that's my problem. I say yes even when I know I can't.
No, don't. No,
that's a problem.
No, it is a problem. Look, it's a problem.
I say no before you can finish your question. I'll be like, no.
This is what helps me mentally, right? And I did this too, and I ended up crashing out. I'm sure we all have crashed out for too many yeses. When you say yes, what you're really agreeing to is taking on that person's problems.
Yep.
So you have to think about it in that framework, because I've told people blatantly, I'm like, no, I can't do that. And then they ask why. And I'm like, why? That doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, I just have to cut into people because people think that if you say no, it's disrespectful, but it's not disrespectful. If someone takes your no as disrespect, me personally, that's not a person you need to be around. That's flat out. So to me, it's like I'm very much these days trying to be as truthful as possible to the best of my ability, because I think we all be for sure, but I think we all have the capacity to just reflex lie a lot of times. So I'm trying to get that out of me, give my actual response, regardless of the fallout. Because if the person doesn't like what I'm saying, it doesn't matter, because it goes back to, well, I have my own emotion, right? Where type shit, where it's like, you don't need to be here. And a lot of times when you do that, people can huff and puff and shit, but they'll always come back if they're supposed to be there. But I'm not a believer of keeping people in my life that aren't supposed to be there.
Because even when you went through that one shit, bro, when we did not talk for 2 years, and I was like, bro, man, I was sick. And I was mad, but when you came back and just told me, that's it. I just want communication.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be here, when you good, but just let me know what's going on.
I spent a lot of time running from conversations. It's better to just kind of face it.
See, I'm a communication type of person. I'm very direct.
That's good.
But
I'm direct, but I do run from conversations. Once I'm in front of you, I will be direct, but I do sometimes hide from those conversations just because I am doing so much. And it's like, my mental is important, because once I get off my mental, now everything is crumbling. I'm everything that needs me. And same like with you, I know with emotions, you gotta keep them in place when so many people need you.
And that's right. And right now, like the story I told y'all before, we even started this, I'm learning right now. I think I'm in the season of learning to shut up and control my emotions, because I'm in therapy. Therapy is so important. It's just being angry. Once I'm That's it.
Yeah.
Like I was so like in high school, a lot of people don't know this. But I used to fight a lot. Like, yeah, 30 seconds with you right now. Like
I can tell by what you was talking about, girl. I want to go in there, I'm gonna beat her up.
Yeah, no, I like the phrase. I like a good tussle.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
No,
you
so,
know,
because
like it's an appetizer.
No, like for real, like I fought so much in high school just based off of the things that I was experiencing, like you said, mental and stuff like that, and just people crossing my boundaries because I'm so nice, because I love helping you, because of this. It's like you think you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, and that becomes a part of like the saying no thing because like when I say no. I'm learning right now boundaries. Like I didn't realize how disrespectful that was until it clicked to me one day. Like, did you just challenge me? Yeah. Like because I said no. Like and like with the being angry, I'm learning like don't let everything bother you, or don't get mad at the things that you cannot control. Because me, like I'm not a controlling person, but I like to have everything organized. That way I can understand it when I get to it.
Right.
When I can't get to it and I don't understand it, I get frustrated because why are you doing it? Like it makes sense in my head. It makes sense in my head, and it's supposed to make sense to you because that's common sense. But I be forgetting people don't exist with just natural common sense. Like it's who raised you. Like that's the question I always come back to. But it's just like, okay, don't get mad. But it's like let's rephrase the mindset of this. Like my therapist always just like, well, did you think about this? And I'm like, yeah, I thought about this and plan A, B, C, D. Yeah. Okay, well, let's look at it from their shoe. But I don't wear the same size shoes. So like that's where I get to. So it's just learning to control my emotions and I get so mad. Like the roommate situation. Her definition of cleaning is obviously different, right? I'm trying to be therapeutic in my head. It's definitely different. So it's just like
I think she's just a bum. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe she just cleans differently and I just don't smell the cleanliness. Like maybe she's getting like I'm trying to be in your shoes.
I understand that you're trying to move forward and be better, but I think that girl is doing everything but what she needs to do. She's a brat. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
She's just a brat. No, she doesn't want to take it. Right? Yeah, no, she just, but that's good. You're being graceful. You're giving her grace.
I'm trying because this is the thing too. I look at it spiritually as well. I be like, I pray every day, like, Lord, give me something that I can learn from and also help me be an influence or a positive light to somebody else. Yeah. So I know if I'm not moving graceful and I'm not moving, like forgiving, why do I feel like y'all should forgive me? Correct. If I'm not forgiving other people. For sure. So I try to move like that. And then people show me different, and I'll be like, okay, yeah. Like I didn't already try.
That's why we need the Bible because it's like
so bad.
I can't move off of what if I just moved off of what people do, you'll end up a tyrant. But like the Bible is like, even though you tripping, I'm gonna move off of this thing, bro. Yeah. Cause this is like the Bible's like what's holding me back.
No, for real, like it's so much stuff. It's so much stuff that I've changed because I think I've texted you and told you this. Like I'm reading a book every month. Yeah. And so far I'm like ahead of like where I started. Like Genesis 50 chapters. Exodus was what 40, I can't remember. It was so many, like right now I'm in Numbers and it's 36 chapters. So every time I'm done with something, I check it off. But in the book of Exodus, like we was talking about the false gods. He said that so many times, do not praise or worship anything else other than me. Yeah. Right. So many people who make everything their loved one a false idol, themselves a false idol, money, like that's a big thing. But like a lot of people don't think outside of that. Then I went from that story to Leviticus. Leviticus is literally a manual telling you what you should not eat. Like I kind of ministered to somebody. Her name is Kennedy. We go to the same church. She was just checking up on me one day, and she was just like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And I was like, "Girl, let me tell you about this. You're not supposed to eat seafood, and why you're not supposed to eat seafood?" And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because the Bible says like it's detestable." And she was like, "What does that mean?" So detestable means that it hates our bodies. Like it's bad to digest. Like the reason, like certain type, like even in the Bible it says like fish, for example, if you're not supposed to eat it if it don't come with scales and a fin. You're not supposed to eat it. at all whatsoever because of how it prides.
If it doesn't come with scales in
Yeah,
it,
like if it does not,
no lobsters.
Yeah, no. Like if it do not come with scales in a fin, it's not supposed to be digested because of how detestable it is to your body, the way it breaks down, the stuff that it comes away. Yeah, it got nutrients and stuff like that. That's the good part. That's supposed to make you want to eat it, but in all, it hates you for real.
Right.
And it goes, and then I started thinking like, okay, what else is detestable in my life? Like I be low key ministering to myself.
Yeah.
Like what else is detestable in my life that I need to stop giving my energy to that real life hates me.
Yeah.
Like so I gave up weed, I gave up cussing, I gave up partying for real because I was never a party person. But I gave up so much stuff that hates me that has no benefit in my life.
For sure.
So it's just like, and people too, like certain people, I ask God every day, remove people that ain't supposed to be here. When I tell you I get an unfollow button every single day. And then it's disrespectful because I get you unfollow me, but remove me as a follower.
Right.
Yeah.
Remove me. I don't follow nobody but God. I have to post that one day.
I am very convinced that people have it backwards with growth, where they think that it's you're missing something and you need to add. But I think exactly what you're saying. It's what is extra that needs to be removed until you can get to the core and the root of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you throw God in there also to guide you, right? And it's like everything else is just there to fuck you up.
No, for real.
You know, like me, I'm vaping. I'm vaping heavily, but that's like a ladder. I just started vaping to get off cigarettes because I chain smoke like a mother.
That's progress. God
Right.
don't ask for perfection. He asks for progress.
Right. That's the thing. You know, what was it? 3 months now. 3 months, no energy drinks. I lost 12 pounds in 6 weeks just killing energy drinks. You know what I mean?
Energy drink you used to drink?
Lard. No, Monster Energy. No, Monster. I had 2 of them big pop top ones because the nature of my job, right? I'm an engineer and then I have 2 small kids, so I work from like 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. time. You know what I mean? All day, every day, 24 hours, young kids, whatever. So it's like you get into that cycle. I'm not gonna get this fucking energy drinks, but
I just got into them though. Like, I'm in my era right now.
Man.
I'm about to exit really quick because
Please
what's got me
don't.
exiting is her, and now she's drinking.
For real.
Really?
Yeah, no, like
Can you function without caffeine?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Can you tell me about how are you awake ever?
So this is my thing. When I know, because working in sports, I didn't realize until I actually got into, like, for example, the Wizards, that you will go there at 7 in the morning. You probably won't leave until 11 or 12 that night.
Yeah.
Eating for sure is a thing, but eating stuff that's good for you is a really thing. So I cut out a lot of like junk. A lot. Don't get me wrong, I still like a little junk.
Yeah.
But drinking water, I'm still trying to drink more water than what I'm supposed to be doing. But staying awake is just really just eating and drinking, and my mind is always going.
Right.
So it just keep me busy. Yeah, keep me busy. And being somewhere like at the Wizards where you gotta be in the stadium, you're gonna hear noise all the time. So you don't even allow yourself to get sleepy. So but you might get a headache. Keep believe whatever that you need on you. But I normally keep like some water on me. I keep trail mix because nuts and stuff keep you up. I eat some of that. I might have something that I know is gonna naturally keep me up instead of like, I don't know, something.
Yeah. Sugar.
Like pop. I was a big pop drinker.
Man, it's so good. It's so
Man, I would Sprite my favorite one, or Sierra Mist if they don't have Sprite.
Sierra Mist, I like Sierra Mist more than Sprite.
Sorry, is trash.
It's a
right now. Like,
Sierra Mist has a weird. It's like a carbonation texture thing that I like more, especially on ice.
Yeah. To me, it kind of burns, but
I like the burn.
Like if you go to McDonald's Sprite.
Oh no, McDonald's Sprite, McDonald's Coca-Cola, McDonald's sweet tea, which is basically just a sugar bar. You might as well.
Listen, if you go to Louisiana, I love Louisiana. I love the people there. I love the school experience. It was just the athletic part. I will go back every single year if it was paid for and you just want me to go there. Business trip, whatever. You can go to Louisiana and you get a sweet tea. I just like. Have you ever heard somebody sing so good and somebody just throw a towel? That's how good the sweet tea is. Like you just wanna, oh my god! Like this is what real sweet tea tastes like. Like it's so much stuff that I learned from being in Louisiana, where it's like if I come back to Michigan, I don't even want it. I gotta go to Louisiana to do it.
There is something you said earlier, not to completely change subjects, about your father encouraging you to go out of state, and I think that's obvious. There is something to be said, and I've seen people like really restrict their own mindset from, especially like being from Detroit and really being like in the streets, basically, where it's like your worldview is fucked up without you realizing it because you only go from Finkel to 8 Mile, and that's your existence. That's your entire world.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've seen, as soon as you take a step outside of that, right, then you understand. Just being somewhere else, you understand the world. I was over at his house the other day, bro. This is a weird way of me getting motivated. I was at his house. Bro, I was at his house and he lives in a nice area. I'm gonna tell you the whole address now. But he lives in a nice area, and I was like, I need a phone charger, so I went to Target. This Target, it was like it's like a premium Target. There's like an underground parking garage, and I walk in and everyone's like everyone's,
They have a thing that you put your buggy on, so like when they have escalators that go up, and I was thinking like, well, this is stupid. How the fuck we're gonna get down with my buggy? Bro, it's awesome. When you go back down, you put your buggy on its own personal escalator, and you go next to your buggy, and you guys just kind of like go together.
It's a high-end Target.
It's
like,
crazy.
So the thing about
you got a Starbucks pizza and all.
Being in rich areas, it's like they have everything that middle class has, except like just better. You know what I mean?
So McDonald's down the street from that looks like a fucking bank.
Right.
Wow.
No, so shit like that, where it's like I was just being around it and then looking at the people and seeing the cars and seeing how people were in general, just a general vibe, right? And then obviously in that Target, everything was like $3 more expensive or whatever. But I was like,
giving a lot of people have Teslas at this Target. I would like
So I made a conscious decision. I was like, I'm going to be around here. Because then it's like, and it's not like I don't like where I live. I live downriver, and it's like, it's fine. It's like middle class or whatever. But there's like just sort of this film of dirt on it a little bit, right? Where it's like, it's not poor. No one's poor. There's this like little trashy film over everything a little bit. That's where I'm from. So I have that element in me. But I'm like, I'd like to be on this side. You know what I mean? Not have to, sweep my life.
But a lot of spiders, that's what I'll say. So
right. But anyway, to my point is like if you're always in a 4 mile radius of where you grew up, you think the world is one way and it's not, and you can literally just go out, meet new people. Just a different environment is vastly different. Mm-hmm. In Michigan, just going up north and fishing. Because obviously southern Michigan and northern Michigan are like two different states. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like just anyway. But that's good. So I think that's obviously the right move. And then anyone who is scared, on top of that, it's like what you said about you're not so dependent on your parents because you are so removed. It forces you, and I think a lot of people are not incapable, but they don't understand what they're capable of until they have to be capable.
And to pinpoint that before you continue, a lot of people, when they're up under their parents dictate their lives. Like I'm dealing with one person in particular, or I was, so I'm gonna just say that he's at Coppin now, but before that, he was like, oh, my mom said I can't go here. My mom said I can't go there. And I'm just like, your mom is not in college with you.
Right.
What?
Right.
What do you mean? She said, oh, well, she didn't like I did. What?
Yeah.
What your parents lived their lives already. It's time for you to live yours. And I think a lot of people underestimate their growth and what they can do based off of what their parents think about them or what they restrict them to do. And it's like your parents can't restrict you from doing that anymore. Because if you go off to school, you're not living up under them. And that's your time to really hustle and grind hard, whether you get your own place or not. But yeah, I want to add that because there's a lot of people that don't think that they can do something, or like for example, like my girl right there, she was so scared to leave Detroit, and it was like I was encouraging her since I was at Southern to be like, come on, come on. And she was just like, she was making every excuse. I don't have money for it. I don't do this. I don't. She after school, and I ended up helping her get there, like money, all of that, whatever the case may be. And I was just like, just because she coming up under me, they gonna look out for it. Yeah. But it was like, now you can act it out. She was like, oh yeah, everybody gotta come out of state. They gotta do this, they gotta do that. And I'm just like, but see, if you would have listened to me 3 years ago, you would have been in the same thing. But it's all about progress. It's all about the comfortability too, because she was scared to get comfortable somewhere where she wasn't already sheltered at, comfort at, all of that stuff. And it's like, how are you going to grow? You know what I'm saying? If you can't get outside of this box.
Yeah.
You're not a box.
Change is uncomfortable. It's like getting comfortable with uncomfortability is super key, right?
Definitely.
And then it's like, and then, you know, obviously throwing it to God and having faith that things will be fine, because more often than not, they will. Like, it's very rare that something cataclysmic will happen. And on top of that, if everything horrible happens, you can always go back. Take a break, reset, get back out there. You know?
That's what I am. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, because I know with yours, or not even with yours, just when you're talking about people getting restricted by their parents and you can do this, can do that. Like I had the opposite, like the only like I had to pray to find some silver lining with my like grandparents passing. And I just not really too much for my grandma just because she, you know, she just gave me so much love. It was never really a financial thing. But like she definitely helped me before, but my grandpa like was just bail me out anytime anything was bad happened to me. Like, you know, I was always kind of, you know, we were kind of poor when I was growing up, but he like, you know, I'm not gonna get into his whole story, but he just would always help out, you know, whenever I ever needed him. And then when he passed, I went through like my first like low period without him. And I had to figure shit out. And it's almost like him bailing me out. Him bailing me out made me think that I didn't fail. So I never felt nothing. It's like it was a time where I lost a job, did all this, and I really royally fucked up. He bailed me out. You know, now I'm good. And it's like, you know, I'm talking like I did something. And it's like I should be crashed out right now. But it's sometimes, you know, getting help, you know, can really restrict you to getting too much help, even if parents aren't saying no. Like they're like giving you too much coddling. It's like they're not making you figure shit out. You know? And I would think about staying with parents.
That was my mom. She was terrified. Like I remember the first job I had, I worked at Useless Place on Schoolcraft. Y'all might not know what that is, but he was paying undertaking all of that. Nah, it was a good soul food restaurant until I found rest. But that's a story for a different day. She was scared for me to work there, and the house was right here. The job was right here. I'm just like, why are you scared? But my dad, he always was like, don't just stay around, go out of state, like because like they didn't get to do that, and so he was just like, I want you to experience something that one we never experienced, but you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no responsibilities. Just go out and explore that. And my mom was, she was just like, you know, you want to go to Michigan State, you know, you want to like she just wanted me there, but like when I went to Louisiana and that was far. It was 15 hours and 56 minutes away. Yeah. She was like, you know, no,
that's exactly. I was just about to say that. You know, me and my girlfriend right now, because I am very much like my daughter's 4, and every day I walk her into school, I give her like affirmations and shit because like that's important. That's super important. That I mean, I never got that. My parents were good or whatever, but it's like, but they divorced. They divorced when I was 3 though, so it was definitely it was catastrophic for a long time. At least there's a lot of things that I will never be, I don't want to say I'll never be, that I have to readjust and understand. And I'm actually learning about that through my kids. By correcting my kids and doing it right, I can kind of go back and be like, oh, that's why you know what I mean? But it's good because there's that balance, right? Because in situations that you need the nurturing from your mother to come home and be close, it's there. And then in situations where that's too much, then you have your father to push you out, because those two things, they both need to happen. It just depends on the time frame.
That's definitely yin.
For sure, 100%.
You don't know what to do, and they're just both giving you advice on the situation. You get the advice from the, you know, super logical, you know, future, you know, state of mind, and then the family, like, you know, loving, like, you know, so you get to decide based on that.
So let me. This is like the perfect example of this. Is I was in first grade, and like my parents were divorced. My dad was kind of around, but not for real. Obviously, it's hard living not in the same house, whatever. Right. My mom told me. My mom's advice for me getting into a fight was, if someone hits you, curl up into a ball and scream until the teacher comes. That was her genuine advice.
What?
So that was the opposite. That is the right. Well, because that's advice from a nurturing person who cares about your safety. Yeah, right. Whereas a person who cares about your the masculine part of defending yourself, because it really took me until basically 3 years ago for me to not be a little fucking crybaby bitch. Like there was a lot of shit. No, for real, because I was a crybaby. I was a crybaby, and it took me really, because I'm 30. I'm 32. I'll be 33. It really took me until like 27. Like when starting a business, when I was like, and I'm glad I took this route, because like it's, you know, I was finally at a point where my business was failing and my mom couldn't save me. You know, and that made me toughen up, because I wanted to do this more than I wanted the comfort and safety of, you know, my mom. And she wasn't like overly overbearing, but she was definitely like overly protective in the sense of she never let me fail completely. You know what I mean? And I think a father is there to let you fail completely because me, like I'll let my kids crash out and then just come over and scoop them up and then explain what happened. And a mom will catch you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Generally speaking.
And I know my parents, they had disagreements like growing up with like, oh, you coddle her too much, or like you're too hard on her. Like,
well, that's the balance.
I love those type of arguments too. It's just that's just love.
Well, to me, from being a parent, it's like, yeah, we have those fights, and obviously our kids are still young. So I'm thinking like when my kids are in like high school, they'll sort of figure that shit out. So, you know, whatever, I'm sure we'll still argue about it, but it's like, yeah, like, but there are situations where I know just with a kid where I am being too hard. Like I had to do this today. I had to, my daughter was just freaking out and just being bad. So I was like, go to your mom. It's like, go to your mom. Because I knew that if she pushed me a little harder, my reaction was a crack on the ass. And I knew that was wrong. So I'm like, go to your mom. And then she gave her a hug and talked to her like a human being instead of me. I was just going to be like, what's wrong with it? You know, in the negative, you know.
No, my dad, he was the opposite of their mom. My dad be like, if you're going to fight, make sure you hurt them.
Yeah.
Like, hurt them. Like, my mama like, you can hurt them, don't hurt them too much. Yeah. Like don't get a charge on you. But like,
kill them.
No, me and my brother, we used to fight growing up, and my dad used to do this thing. He'd be like, dang, what is it called? It's like death something. I forgot. He used to say this all the time. It's not clicking to me. Oh my goodness. He just used to say all the time, like, oh, fight to the death. That's what it was. Fight to the death. Fight to the death. And I used to want to fight to the death. Like, that's my brother. I ain't gonna kill him.
Right. I would make an argument that, and I only know this because I know the reverse. I don't know how to fight. I've been in one fight in my entire life. It was not really a fight. Well, it kind of was. It was, we were wasting them, and it was my fight. But like, but there, if you know you're capable of physically defending yourself, then that lends itself the confidence to speak your mind. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people hold their tongue because they're afraid of physical confrontation. At least I was, for sure.
I'm not.
That's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying though, is because you had that, like, I'm not gonna fuck you up out of anger, but if you cross this path, we can go. You like a good tussle. Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely waiting on you to like.
Right. Well, that's why people like that girl that you're going through. She's doing everything but scrap.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Because she just doesn't want the bop in the face. Yeah, no. You know, she's getting her brother. She's, you know, doing farting. Yeah, all that, because people like that. People like that where it's like if two people were fighting, it's not a problem. You just have the scrap and it's good. You're done.
And that's what I said to my girl over here. I'm just like, I just feel like maybe she think you gonna jump in, like we can just.
People just aren't cut like you. I already, you know, where it's like you give her a nice bop on the top of the head, she's gonna fold it, you're gonna.
Especially for bowling, my hands are heavy. Yeah. So it's like, that's why, you know what I'm saying? Like 15-pound balls.
You're gonna bink her in the head. She's gonna spin around right to that fucking.
She has a natural recoil. You pull it.
She's gonna go right to that trash can.
Like growing up, I played basketball, so I'm already aggressive. Yeah. Softball, I was first and third, so I got the hand and the length for it. Bowling, I had the fits.
Yeah, you've been prepared for this roommate your whole life.
I literally, like, in high school, I did not like going home at the time, so I would get into like the marching band. I was a percussionist. Yeah, just to get my anger out. You know what I'm saying? Like, or get into different.
I played drums. That's right.
I was snare and tenor. I taught myself how to play snare. Tenor was my main one, and I was the loudest when it came to banging the drum. Yeah. So it's like.
Drums are phenomenal.
Yeah, no.
In general,
they definitely help you relationships.
And they're hypnotic a little because it's a meditative experience.
Bro, I wish I tried that. That's something that's a dopamine rush. Like,
you can still learn. You got time. You can do it at your place. You get an electric drum kit.
No, electric drum is so different than a regular drum. Because, I mean, like with the electric drum,
electric drum is the stick like.
No, like. It's not the drum. It's like a computer drum.
Yeah. So they have a brain which holds all the sounds, like how that is, but and then they're each equipped to a pad. So when you hit it, it's linked to your headphones. So
it looks just like a drum, but like with no weight to it.
Right. They have good ones though, but they're a little more expensive. But yeah, there is nothing like smacking a real cymbal though, I'll tell you that. But
you gotta plug it up. It's not giving a real sound. Like it gives
you really don't like electric drum. You're like, don't fucking do that.
Me, I like a drum that I gotta keep tapping the tuning. Because when you really tap a real drum, like you hear the electric ones, it's just like. And it's supposed to be automatically loud, like you put no effort into it.
Right.
Like,
well, it's a simulation.
Yeah. Like just give me the real.
How much time we got?
No. I didn't see the red, so we had 0.
But no,
she's been holding red up for 45 minutes. The whole time.
I didn't see red.
No, I always like to wrap it up with just like future plans, like kind of what do you have next? You did so much and you've been working on so much. What's next you want to accomplish, or what's in the works that you can share?
So I have plans. So I look at everything as short term and long term. So my long term, or I guess it's kind of short now, but graduating, getting up out of there, Lord Jesus, please be with me. Getting up out of there. And my 3 plans right now is either, because I already got some job offers lined up. And a lot of people, they do not think about jobs like they do here. But I got the, like, what? You're going to graduate? Start somewhere. But either staying in DC and working for the Wizards, because I kind of see that being a full-time job already just based off of the platform that I'm building up. Either...
That's a weird time over there right now.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Some pieces and it's about to get kind of crazy.
Look, and move me with you with the money. So either staying in DC and working for them, getting an apartment, staying out there, while getting my master's either at Texas Southern, FAMU, or somewhere else, Georgia State, whatever. But I'm kind of leaning towards Texas Southern for multiple reasons. I got connections out there. Connections, pretty much. I know I got an opportunity out there. If I don't get the full-time job with the Wizards, I'm probably gonna have one with the Baltimore Ravens. Stay in Baltimore, not in Baltimore. Baltimore too ghetto. I don't want to stay there. I want to stay somewhere in the rural.
Rural.
There we go.
Area. Rural.
A good area. To work for them and just build up like that, or. I'm moving to Texas and going to get my master's, and I'm going to find somewhere with the Houston Rockets. Because I personally want to be in like basketball.
I want to be in
football was just like a kick in the door for me. Like, okay, just getting to know like terms that I didn't think I was going to need to know, or like different things. Or I know for a fact I'm probably going to have a full-time job at my school until I get to where I'm going. So I'll be doing my master's in sport management. And either working in my athletic department or in admissions. I already kind of see admissions hiring me already, just because I'm doing most of the work that they're doing on a salary, but just learning the stuff in there.
Right.
And then I got an internship with the athletics department, so I already know the people that I need to, so either staying at school, moving, or being in the remaining DMV area.
Sound like a bunch of good options.
So to me, wherever I'm
lean into whatever God's talking about.
Definitely.
And that's why it's so good to not be mad, not to try to have that stoicism when you don't get an opportunity, when things don't go your way, because it's like, this is the big picture.
No, definitely.
You got a lot of things to decide.
If I were you, I would. I personally, I like Texas a lot. Just I want to end up moving there. My buddy's out there just because they're like just their housing is doing.
I've been to Texas one time. One time.
It's cool.
Okay, definitely go. I went to Arlington the last time for my granddad's birthday, so that's a great memory because my granddad actually passed this year. So it's like, anytime I think about Texas, I'm like, okay, I'm going back to visit. But one thing I did want to say before we close out, a lot of people are in college and they think, okay, I'm gonna go to college and the paper is gonna work for me. That doesn't mean
you mean your certificate.
Like the diploma.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna get the diploma and I'm gonna get a job. No. That's not how that works. So a lot of people is just like, oh, college is useless. What did you do?
Right.
You didn't do anything, so why did you think the paper was gonna do?
Right.
So a lot of people, because I saw that
It's more about
trend.
the connection that you build.
Yes,
Yes.
life
That's why I wish
in
I was.
general is about connections. Like college, because you will be in a professor's class and they know the president of something. Like my teacher, her name Dr. Richardson, love her down, period. She knows everybody. Like she know people in the front office of the NBA. She connected me with one of her former students that's in the former office of the NBA. And it's like, you don't know who gonna know who.
Know a lot of successful people because they're professors, so that's crazy.
And it's just like, okay, you know this person, but a lot of people don't care about getting that connection with your teacher. Like on the first day of school, like or the first day of class that I had with her, I sat with her probably maybe 2 hours after class, introducing myself and talking to her. Coming to find out, she is the best friend of somebody that goes to Texas Southern that's in the master's department of sport management that also was a part of Midnight Golf. I got 3 connections just over that one conversation.
Let me pick your brain on this. What are the best ways to make authentic connections that work? Because people will hear that and already in my head, people who don't understand how to make connections, they think that you have to go and be manipulative in order to get this person to skip to the important person. No, not even that. It's like I'm gonna schmooze my professor in order to get their connections, and they overdo it in an inauthentic way.
So my thing is every connection that I have, I start with, hey, how you doing? You'll be surprised how many people don't ask how are you doing.
Right.
So like I said, I start with things that people won't do. So I was like, hey, how you doing? And that just by itself, greeting I got from my dad. Like growing up, he will always be like, hey, how you doing? So it's like I kind of picked it up naturally and I start saying it. And then once you get into how your day is or whatever the case may be, I normally ask people, what do you do? Because people love to talk about themselves.
I know I do.
A lot.
I'm here.
Everybody loves to talk about themselves. So what do you do for a living? Even if you don't care, like being real with
the first down, I tell you, girl, oh man, I didn't.
No, they will. Like my granny used to say, a person will tell you their whole life story if you just shut up and listen. So like I just be like, so what do you do for a living? And then by the time that you're done telling me whatever that you told me, I didn't look around, especially if we're like in the office or something like that. I didn't look around your office to see what I could connect with.
Right. Okay.
You. So then, for example, like Mr. Bell, he's the sales and promotion person before I even got the internship. I was connected through him with somebody else that went to my school that knew I wanted to do whatever. So I went to his office. I met him for the first time, and he loved baseball. So his office is full of baseball stuff. So he's talking to me, he's like, yeah, this, that, and the third, da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay, did you play baseball while you were in school? Oh, yeah, baseball, da, 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 da. Boom, got you, I played softball.
Right.
So
let me add to this, right? Let me add to this. I'm just going to break this down because this is how I think in my head, right? Open a conversation with just, hey, because I think exactly what you just said, a lot of people just don't simply know how to make an introduction. Period. They're just afraid to say hi. I teach my daughter. This is what I teach my daughter who was 4 when we're on the playground and she's nervous to talk to kids. I'm like, how do you make friends? She says, I go up and I say hi and I say, I'm Evelina. What's your name? Like, that's what I teach her.
That's literally it.
No, but that's literally it. But here's the thing. This is why I like having kids though anyways, because it kind of, the things that we teach our children or don't teach our children, it carries on. So just that, I know that she will not be, that's how you talk to people. If you're nervous if it's just say hi. I'm bad with that myself.
It's an elevator pitch. That's another professional thing. Like I can do a 30-second elevator pitch and you will know my whole life story within that 30 seconds.
Right.
Like, oh, hi, my name is Alexia Austin. I attend Coppin State University, sport management major, minor in marketing. I wanted to know more about what you do for a living.
Awesome. Great.
And to take a step further, so what you like once you open that up, so like when I'm coaching people in sales and like coaching people who have businesses who are bad at getting out there, it's about once you are getting all that shit, see, because now that it's good to be a jack of all trades, because now you be able to know that story. But they were saying, and I was going from college and my credit was that good, so I was doing that. And if you have offer credit repair, you have that, and you can start going down the list once they keep talking. And now it's like I'm looking in my bag of tricks to see what I can do for you. So like that's because I kind of do the same thing. I'm more of an online person because I have social anxiety a little bit. It's gotten better, like definitely since I gotten older and stuff and recently, but I've always just been really good at online over Zoom. I can if I feel kind of weird, I can just cut my camera off real quick. Hey, just connection to that real quick. But no, it's really good being able to, open that up, but then like being resourceful with the information you get. A lot of people get this information from this person. Use it's like they know the president. Like you got Drake's number, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's so it's useful.
Yeah, so it's open it up and then ask them, get information from them, and then what you said I think is important, and I don't want to skip over it. He's into baseball. You said he's into baseball, but then you said I play softball. I got him. You didn't say he plays baseball, so I'm gonna talk about baseball. You said he does this. I do this, connect the dot.
Yeah.
Don't try to be connecting.
You
Don't
just finding the common ground, because if you don't know the common ground, and let's say you're talking to somebody that is important, how are you going to get them to want to help you?
Well, this is the thing. This is where people fuck up and be manipulative, right? And I just wanted to point that out. This is where these are authentic connections. If someone's like, I play in a rock band, you don't say, I do too, if you've never touched a guitar. Don't lie in order to make a connection, right? So, so
I'm talking about that's just
so it's and I'll also say this, right? Me personally, I was naturally good at communication, and that I think was my ace in the hole for my entire life. I have a thing I say all the time that I try to impose on people, where it's like, you would be surprised how many opportunities you get just by being polite. Like flat out, just by being polite, you're beating like 80% of people. It's amazing.
And of course, put your personality, because the question that you asked me earlier about like personality and professionalism, I put that together. I make myself comfortable in a room where it might be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make me feel uncomfortable. So if I'm talking to you, trying to get genuinely connected with you, or whatever the case may be, I'm going to get a common ground on where we stand, and then we're gonna talk more about it. And majority of the time, when, for example, bowling, people don't find that as a sport. So when I say something about bowling, somebody did bowl. Oh, my granddad used to bowl. Oh, my mom used to bowl. Oh, and then I continue that, and then I talk about myself a little bit, because you know what I'm saying. And then now I'm in control of the conversation,
right?
And so then they want to know more about you, since you asked them about them. Right. So that's, I would say, introduce yourself. Start with a hey, hi, close mouths don't get fed. So if you don't say nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing. Get the information that you want or that you need. Well, I wouldn't even say need. I would just say
by asking a question about them.
About them, because at the end of the day, that's the person that you're going to be working with. You don't want to know unknown information that you don't know. Starting with their name, maybe where they graduated from. Most of the time, especially in college, depending on where a person graduated from, like I deal with a lot of HBCU grads, that's the common ground, because now you understand the culture that I'm currently in. Right. So finding out their background, which LinkedIn is so good with, because they post their whole life on there. So like their education, their job, like especially when it comes to education, I'm about to talk to like a big corporation person. I look their name up on LinkedIn, which is their first and last name, like Facebook. It's a good job. And then I go to their education just to see, and then I start talking about, so how was your time at FAMU? I always wanted to visit there. College, got you. That's all I need. Like I look for the smallest thing.
That's an amazing tip.
And make it all about you, because at the end of the day, I want to be in the position that you're in. So technically, it is all about you. But at the same time, let's make it about me. That way, I can show you how valuable I am to you. Right. My president, he came to me and he told me, because he actually bought my ticket to Atlanta or whatnot. That's a testimonial story. But he literally told me, make yourself valuable to the point where people value who you are. So just based off of that, I'm asking you about you, I'm getting your information, and then I'm gonna tell you how good of a person and what I do. That way you feel like, oh wow. Like a lot of people, when I go into, what I do and stuff like that, oh wow, you're doing a lot. Even if I don't feel like that myself, because of the imposter syndrome, I'm gonna still be like, okay, well, they got something to go off of. And then they be like, okay. And then based off of the things that I tell them, they're not gonna forget you right there. Right. And then you can just tie it up with everything else, the similarities and whatnot, and then hopefully you connect with them. Don't ever leave a situation, whoever is watching this, do not leave a situation without having their contact, their LinkedIn, their personal stuff, because you can remember my face, but you won't know who I am. They need something to refer to. So I always, I got a QR code real quick, scan this, and my LinkedIn will pop up, and they on their free time, you don't know who watching you. They'll go on my LinkedIn, start scrolling. Oh, she got this many connections. She got this person. She worked here. She went here. And then one person DM me from the NFL office and was like, yeah, we would like to interview you.
Yeah, awesome.
Just based off of me making that connection with officials. And they're like, oh, we like, and now I think the trend is for sports, they want HBCU graduates. So they know I'm a junior. They know, oh, she's going to be graduated. So we're going to keep tabs on her.
Right.
Simple.
Let me give anyone a level of confidence too, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people, especially because the show is geared for like ADHD and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And introverts. Communication is a skill. It's not an inherent quality. Some people have it more than others, but it is something that can be learned. There is an element, a lot of what you just described. There's a guy, I forgot his name. He's like a communications expert on Instagram, but basically it's the idea of conversational threading, where you ask the question about them, they say things. If they dump enough, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things you can pull off of, and you can steer the conversation by paying attention to the different topics, and then you just follow that down. You know.
And if a person is like real bland, like don't want to talk, that ain't where you need to be.
Don't force it. Yeah, exactly. Right. They don't want to talk.
They ain't where you want to be. Like I remember this one time because I had went to the Black Sports Business Symposium. It was a real big thing, and I mean, officials from everywhere was there. Sports related. I mean, soccer, hockey, like everywhere. Yeah. And so I went up to this one person and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he was like, "Hey." Like, that was the first time I ever experienced that. Like, what? And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay, that's great." Just not
helping. Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, well, you have a good one."
Right.
And I walked away.
Right. So a lot of people, probably our audience, as we run these, you are going to be that person who just says, "Great." If someone is talking to you, give something to keep the conversation, right? And again, a lot of this is practice. And a lot of people are scared of conversations. A lot of people are scared of looking foolish, but you will look more foolish. You will lose more opportunities if you do not try. Yeah. Even if you're flustered and nervous, right? Because I'm a good communicator. You obviously are. If I see someone nervous and trying, I don't hoe them. Like I naturally I will try to kind of push the ball. But if there's a door that's closed where I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're like, and I'm like,
don't cry on me.
Yeah. They're just not trying because my instinct a lot of time is if someone's like, "Hey, how you doing?" They're like, "Good, nothing." Then I'm like, "Oh, you just don't want to talk."
Yeah.
And then
very short.
Right.
Or you had a bad day.
Right.
Or if that's the case, I'll be like, "Are you okay? Like, how's your day going?"
Right.
But that's normally like
that's high level. That's high level.
Yeah. If I come out like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's high level. Actually, I didn't actually do this, but sometimes I do this. I was at a Del Taco
that's disgusting. They tacos be wet for me. I'm sorry.
Listen, I like wet tacos. No, I like good Del Taco is good. I also vouch for good Burger King. I don't care what anyone says.
I just said they need to close all Burger King. I just said that like this, man. Like you don't never hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Burger King."
Yeah.
What?
I went to Burger King the other day.
Good Burger King is fire.
I feel like you go there when that's the last resort.
It's like it's open and it's closed and you're drunk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I be craving it.
Detroit got Tony, so like it's no.
I like Whoppers. I don't care. Me and you are now fast food nemesis. No, but the girl.
We can go to Burger King after. We can go to Burger King after.
I'm gonna go right to this Arby's. I'm gonna ruin my day. I'm gonna ruin my day with some Arby's.
I said that last night too. Talking to the video, we got the meat. What's that logo?
Arby's. We had the meat.
I was like, is it fresh?
We didn't say that.
I don't want those.
We just said we got it. We didn't tell you the condition. We rotten meats. Yeah, rats. We got the rat meat. But there was this girl, we can wrap it up soon. I'll let you finish with the last word too. This is a lot of great information, by the way. Me personally learned a lot, so I appreciate this story. And obviously you are already successful, but you're going to be hyper successful, and it's going to be awesome to watch that. But yeah, so there was this girl and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Because I say that to be polite, and she's like, "I'm here." And I was like,
"You go fast food always." Yeah, that's their coach.
No, but it's kind of rare because it was real though. It was real. It wasn't anger. It was like I'm here. Like it was, you know what I'm saying. So sometimes she didn't end up answering at the window, but I was mentally preparing to be like, You all right? You want to dump? Like, I know I'm a stranger, but like, you could just, you want to dump?
My like response to that, because I get that sometimes too.
Yeah.
When people be like, I'm here, and I be like, I'm here too. I definitely understand.
Yeah.
That way they don't feel like they by themselves.
I said, I feel you. I said, I feel that. Like, I really, you know.
Not tell them to have a great day afterwards.
I might ask, because now I care. Now I'm like, yeah, what's your story?
Yeah.
But it's like
Everyone comes with a story.
For
what's
sure.
going on? It's like it's the whole. Yeah. That's why I never ask people how you doing, because I am like, I don't care, but I do. It's like I don't want to get to care. I don't care right now, and I don't want to care. And I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with this, and it's like, damn. Now it's like you are adding my baggage.
I care if I have in that moment the energy and mental capacity to care. Yeah, like honestly, because like this is a big thing of mine. This isn't an original thought, but your energy is a currency, right? And sometimes you go throughout your day and you have a surplus. Sometimes you go throughout your day and you don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes when you catch me.
Your emotions.
Plus that battery be drained, like your social battery, it goes down. Because like right now, when it's like maybe 2 o'clock, I get up hype. I don't know why, but I get up hype. And then throughout the day, depending on what happens, depending on who I'm near, because the energies jump. Like if I'm around somebody that's depressed and I'm trying to like care for them, it might drain my energy. Sure. By the end of the day, I'm either like 50% like a battery or like I'm dead. Yeah. Like don't even about. I need silence. Like need to recharge.
And this is for all the agreeable people too. Like this is something that I like to say. I need to stop prefacing it and just say it. This is a thing I say. No, but an empty cup can't pour. Yeah. So like if you're drained, don't even worry about getting energy.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Really.
One thing that I noticed too, like piggybacking off of what you're saying, one thing that I just thought about, you know how you go on an airplane, right? And you sit in the airplane, they put the thing on, or you put your seatbelt on. They always instruct you, like in the beginning before you take off, about the precautions, the exit precautions or whatever, and they tell you about the little vest or whatever, and they always say, make sure you got yours on before you help somebody else.
Bingo.
That's literally the same thing. How are you going to help somebody else when you're not even together? For sure. What rope are you going to pull down if you can't even get it stern enough to lift somebody else back?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of being selfish so that you can be selfless. Because if you don't take what you deserve, then you will crash out. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to save you. Like really, truly. Because your parents can, but once you get to be roughly my age, 30s, then that starts to get, that starts to become a problem, especially if you don't handle that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, build for yourself so that you can take care of the people around you. So if you are messed up, don't even try to help other people. Like really don't. And I know that's cruel and it's hard a lot of times. And a lot of people that come from families that require a lot of help, and there's generational curses and there's a lot of problems. But this is good or bad advice, but people don't like to hear it. Is like, if you're in an environment your family is taking from you to a point that you can't function and it's always weighing you down, you need to leave. You need to leave so you can come back with something.
Need to leave. Yes.
Like really, because they were this way before you were born, and they're gonna be this way after you. So in order to be up, sometimes you have to leave. Like you can't save people with nothing. You can't shoot a gun without bullets. You can't buy anything without money. You can't give what you don't have.
And that's a cause and effect system. I operate like that though. Like something has to happen in order for something either better or worse to happen.
Right.
So it's just like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Just back and forth. But if you guys are watching, you guys are enjoying this talk, I really want you guys to go to the link in our bio and join the community. We're gonna start going live for a lot of these episodes. But once we get, I'm thinking of getting another camera for that, because I was gonna go live and I tried the 1 week and it was like off the computer and I don't like that. So we're gonna get another camera to go live from and a camera to record. But I just want to say, man, it was so, because I didn't want to ask you nothing when you came in, because that's what I do whenever we're having somebody on the pod that we actually got a connection with and we haven't spoken in a while. I don't like to ask nothing. I like to wait and just find out. I'm listening, because then I have a tendency to tune out. Like, I mean, I can tune out really quick. So if you've already told me all this shit, I'm gonna be like, this for y'all,
because you looking for the point of the conversation.
Yeah, because I'm a real big person, bro. I don't do small talk. I don't do that. Like, I everything I do is functional. It's to help. It's to do something. So I don't like to just BS. I'm like, if I'm gonna sit down, like it gotta make sense. I'm like, let me force myself because it's hard for me to listen to something, especially if I already know something, bro. It's like,
yeah, because it's kind of pointless. I'm a very rationalized person, so I be trying to, or I try to think about like the pinpoints that I'm
what's
making.
the most practical way to do this? Like, I don't want to be wasting my time. But
were you saying that I was boring?
no,
Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I just if I sit down, like if I'm like, let's say for Marquise, for example, like I know Marquise's whole story. If he would have came on here and just, that's why I always say like we're not just gonna do an interview with people because people just want to come on. Like there's a few guys in the DMs who just like they want to come on here and just talk about themselves. They don't want to provide value to our audience. And
right.
It's like it's hard where people want to do like pay people to get on the shit that and the third. It's like we're still trying to figure out that because it's like I want to make sure we do it the right way.
I'm very much taking a hard line. Is like you need to, because you have them fill out a form anyway.
Yeah,
so it's like you need to be doing something.
Yeah,
you can't just be coming on here and be like, you know what I want to do? I want to open a Chipotle.
Bro, because I can't wait for the other kid say he's gonna drop that one interview with that one guy once he hits 500 comments. By the time this drops, he'll drop it. But dude, tweak, bro.
Which one? There's a lot of
psychopaths. He was like
on
some lace shit. He said like he had a new religion he was working on called like Satan Buddhism or something like that. And he was like tweaking out, bro. But that's my thing. Like it is another dude was trying to be like, I don't want to just bring people on and have inauthentic conversation. No. If I don't vibe well with you, like just last thing I was saying, Young Miami was just, I think it was Young Miami, whoever had that show. She was saying,
Black China.
Yeah, she didn't vibe with her. And that people took offense to that. I'm like, so you want her to say, no, I liked every single person. I'm like, no, I ain't fuck with this one person. Her energy is off for me. It don't mean she a bad person. It's cool. And it's like,
it just mean we don't click.
Yeah, I gotta like talk, because I don't want no awkward shit. I can't do it. Like that shit that Play Barco be doing and the shit that the other girl, Bobby, what's her name? I love watching those podcasts, but I couldn't be in those rooms. That's awkward. Yeah. Because silence makes me uncomfortable. And when they just be going on shit like, bro.
Well, we're a different type of entertainment because me personally, I'm not trying to go for viral moments and silly things and these type of things. It's value. It's what value. Exactly. You gave me a lot of value just because a lot of times I'm just trying to figure out the person across from me what I can get because and you just explaining it. I just picked out like what I wanted to know because I'm in the very opposite. You took the college route and were very hyper successful in that realm, right? Where
don't get it wrong. You can be very successful without college.
So look, I dropped out of college 5 times.
Oh, okay.
So so this is why it's interesting. Both my parents are teachers. My dad is a college film professor. My mother taught special education actually in the city in Detroit. So like,
where is she?
Right, where?
I don't know. She was.
I was like, we had a
WCTV.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
it was young kids. It was young kids. It was like So she was in the super duper trenches. It was like 4-year-olds with special needs, in the hood. But my parents really pushed school, and it was not the path for me. It was like because in what music. Yeah, well, it was my mom literally used to tell me you will be a failure if you don't go to college. And then I just couldn't tune my brain for school. You know what I mean? So like I'm sure I could have done it but it's just every time I'm in class, it was like this is a waste of time. And that's only true because I knew in my heart I needed to pursue music, and the way to do that in the way that we do things on the ground level is it's pure hustle, it's pure connections, it's pure grit. So the way I really did that is skip the school, although I did end up getting my certifications, but it's like get an internship at a studio. This is my bad. Got an internship at a studio, worked there, learned Pro Tools, made the connections there, and then went and opened my own studio when I had a client base, and you could kind of skip the whole whatever. But I'm not opposed to college. I think that if you know what you want to do, then you should go to college. Right. That's how I feel. I was going to ask you about that. Is like, what the value of college? And then, because I think it's for some people, not all people, obviously, but you're obviously hyper successful in that realm.
Being honest with you, college ain't for me, and I'm in college.
Wow.
Like a lot of people, and this is the thing, like I feel like a lot of people that's not in college look at college students like, oh, either you better than us or like you're in college because of whatever. When I graduated high school, I did not know a plan. So I was like, let me go to that. Like some people have a plan.
You went to discover.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But a lot of people already know, like in high school, like I know some people that was like, oh, I'm gonna make clothes, I'm gonna do music, I'm gonna do this. And I was just like, I'm not comfortable with not having a plan A, B, or C. Like if you put all of your eggs into that one basket, what if that don't work out? I wanted to have college as a backup plan because my first thing was, I'm gonna go pro bowling. and then I'm gonna have this, and then I'm gonna have that.
Yeah.
But I knew that if I didn't go to school, I wouldn't have like those ranks of plans because
Right,
like, if
right.
I failed at one thing,
Or you get hit by a car.
then McDonald's. Like
Right,
I don't want to
right.
work at McDonald's. Very like I don't want to do that. So I was
Yeah.
like,
No
okay.
judge to somebody that does.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. Like, I just don't want that as a career. Like, you see the angry lady, she's 45 working at McDonald's
For
because
sure.
she has to.
Right.
I do it because I want to. That's
Right,
the difference.
right,
So yeah, that was my thing. Like, I was like, okay, let me find things that I already know I like. So I like music. I like speaking in front of people, mentoring. Like, I'm just a well-rounded person. I'm a sport fanatic already. Let's go towards something that's sport related.
Okay.
I love helping people. Okay, what else can I do in college that can help people?
Right.
What about the community sector? Like, it was just
Yeah, you're just pulling threads. of
yeah.
interest.
So
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out what I can fall in love with my major.
Right.
So I'm doing everything. With sport management, you can go into coaching and you can be a sport agent. You can do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to learn everything. I'm not limited to anything. And that's the thing too. Like my dad used to tell me, like, you can't be picky with something that you don't have.
Mm.
So if I don't have the skill to do something, why am I limited to learning it?
Right.
So I'm learning everything.
Right.
I literally told like Mr. Bill, like, teach me everything that you're going to teach me.
Yeah.
Because then I go work and they be like, oh, we need a person for this. Well, I actually know how to do that too. Yeah. And I can probably get paid more.
You are a very disciplined person.
Yeah.
For sure.
Self-disciplined. A
You're
lot of
very
people like, I'm
For
just.
sure. Yeah. There are a lot of opposites with us. It's really interesting because obviously it works so well for you and again, it goes back to my thesis of be the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I am the person still where it's like, I don't have a plan A, B, or C because I view that in the way I think as if I have these, then I can't spend as much time on a plan A, or a lot of people have an A, B, and C as an excuse to fail. But here's the thing, right? Is that works for a certain type of person, and what you said works for a certain type of person, because I don't think you could function probably off the not having multiple plans in the way that I can't function with too many plans.
Yeah,
and then it's like I'm gonna the shit, especially if you're doing something that's risky, because all the shit I'm doing right now, if it was like just with the resume I could probably work out a way to get a job, but if there were just so many like backup plans that I had, why do this risky thing? So it would make me just like when it gets hard, quit. I'm done.
Right.
Why? Because I'm putting myself through hell. Like I said,
You still gotta do
3
the work.
days in a row, 24 hours, just so.
And be very.
For some people it could work, and then for me it's like,
Yeah.
because I need to be motivated in every single moment. So whenever it's like, man,
Yes.
so
Well,
everybody needs their thing.
And that's why I don't get bored, because like everything that I do is towards one of the 4 plans that I have.
Right.
Like I don't just have to do marketing. I just don't have to do communication. I don't just have to. So, and that's why I'm not picky on where I work, because I can go work in the NHL and be fine. But it's just in sports is variety as well. So that's why everything that I'm doing towards one of the plans that I have.
Right,
I'm not just doing something that's just jack of all trades. And I've heard this for the first time like this semester or this year, I should say. My old coach told me you can't be the jack of all trades because you'll be a master of nothing.
Right.
So I'm working towards everything. That way I can be a master at multiple things.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely appreciate you sitting down with us.
Of course, I'm honored. It's my first time.
Because we need someone who went to college to talk.
Yeah, I can't just be me and my
right.
delinquent friends.
We just because there needs to be more, I think, positivity in that, because for a moment there was just only go to college if you don't go, you're bad, and then it went to just years of just rebellious, like no, college sucks though, and then now
college is for nerds.
And now we need to bring it back to where it's like, okay, you have these, like, what do you want to do?
And some people go to college and they drop out once they figure out what they want to do, because why pay for something when you
because it's like, and that's why I feel like you're always exactly where you're supposed to be, because you get there, like you go in the 5 times, like you need it. You were supposed to do that, Well,
I went for other people. I never went for myself. Not a single
I was
time.
told to, and then
The one time
in your heart.
The one time I went for myself, I ended up with 3 certifications in music engineering. You know
Well,
what I
there
mean?
you
Because that was a passion too.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, I almost failed. It was 9 months. It was 9 months. It was super on easy mode, and I still almost failed. I still almost didn't get by because my discipline sucks. The only thing that I can focus on really in real life is audio engineering and making music. Everything else, but well, yeah. I mean, but that's less.
Barely.
Yeah, like change yourself. You're 2.
Yeah. You gotta learn.
Yeah, you've been pooping enough. You don't know how this works by now, kid. But but those are obvious. I'm not going to say that like those are endearing qualities of mine. Those are character flaws that a lack of discipline is not something to be like champion.
But it's good that and that's our whole thing. It's like leaning into those things, not being ashamed. Like leaning in. The first step is to knowing the problem. So if you're just a person who's like Draymond, you're trying to choke Rudy Gobert on national TV, and now you're trying to gaslight everybody, and you say like. The first step to understand your problem, you're a little violent. You sometimes, when you get that adrenaline, you go a little too far. That's the first step. You can't skip that, But man, this is gonna be by the time this will probably be out next around January. But this has been episode 18/19 question mark.
This is episode 17 to 23.
Right, anywhere in that realm.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys want to check these out, and even for Lex and you guys, if you guys want to just stay updated and know when these are gonna come out, join our community. Link in the bio. You can join for live updates. There's a bunch of awesome cool things in there. I'm dropping a new clothing line and not a new clothing line for me, but one of the businesses that I just created for investor. We're also starting him like e-com store. We're excited. We're launching that in the next few days here, so that's also going down in there. By the time this is dropped, it will be full swing. This has been episode 18 to 19. I'm Jace Green, Rose, and Big Lex. We out.